as foreigners make you a minority. Another election, another bust. Go vote for that liar. It's a must. We were given the greatest gift of all. Decided to give it up and watch the fall. Yeah, it's just a clown world. We're living in a clown world. Join us in the clown world. It's easy to see that the joke's on you and the joke's on me.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, August 6, 2026. And if you're with us, tuned in, you know that we have not solved our audio issues. I know. Believe me, I'm frustrated. I don't want to let it get to my head here and ruin today's show. But because of that, we're probably going to have to call an immediate audible. I just have to address this right now. And just so you guys understand, I believe that this is I'm just going to just get this out of the way right now, and we'll let the audience get caught up. I believe that this is an internal technical issue with StreamYard. Okay? And there are other people that use StreamYard that have been having the same issues. And I was also reached out to by a couple other people that do live streams themselves, and they said they've been hearing the same things about StreamYard. And unfortunately, the nature of testing live tech is that you have to do it live, unfortunately. So there's no way for me to really test whether the audio is good or not until I go live, because everything is on an internal loop. And I can't test the external consumption of the audio until the show goes live, if this makes any sense. And yes, I have the chat open right now. Yeah, my microphone sounds fine. And this is why I'm completely convinced that this is a StreamYard issue, because what happens is anytime we pull something up through the StreamYard studio, that's when you get the echo. So it's all in StreamYard. We've troubleshooted everything. There's literally nothing we can do. Believe me, guys, I'm frustrated. It sucks. I wish StreamYard was better. I do, because it's the best way to do what I do. It's the easiest way to do what I do. But we're probably going to have to switch to a different setup here if StreamYard is just going to continue to have these issues. And you know what? That's kind of the problem, is that StreamYard makes it easiest for one man to run a show. But because of that, you know, it's not the best. That's just the facts. And I've had too many of these issues with StreamYard. So we're probably just going to have to totally switch. Obviously, we can't do that today. It's going to take a process, quite frankly. To switch everything up, it'll take at least a day. Or two, even, to get all of my ins and outs set up here. Yeah, I could try Rumble Studios. I'm not opposed to trying Rumble Studios. The reason why StreamYard is so nice is that I see somebody say that says Baron Coleman fixed his show issue. He was one of the people that was having the same issue with StreamYard. Well, maybe he found something out that I didn't. I don't know. There's literally no other knobs, no other switches. There's nothing else we could try to troubleshoot on this deal. I guess, I don't know. Maybe there's other stuff I haven't thought of. But anyway, probably going to switch to OBS is what it looks like. We may try Rumble, but unfortunately, so now we'll kind of get into the content. I've got a lot of Trump clips here, and now I'm concerned to even play them because those are going to have an issue. I'm curious. I can't help. I'm curious. I'm looking at people say that Barron just fixed his. I know he was one of the people that was having the same issue that uses StreamYard. So if anybody figures out what he did, let me know. Or maybe DMT can get on it. Let me just stop getting distracted by this. We're not going to let We're not going to let it ruin the show. I'm also curious what might happen if I open the phone lines. I have a feeling we might have a similar issue, but we'll find out. I've got plenty of news to cover. I hope I can play these clips. So here's what we have. We got a lot of clips from President Trump talking about the Iran war. We've got Boomer the groundhog. I think it's Boomer, guys. I have to tell you. I think it's Boomer. It's the leader in the clubhouse right now. So we got Boomer in the house today because Trump says that gas prices might need to go up. Gas prices are going to have to go up because we won the war and he controls the Strait, right? So gas prices go up. That's how this one works. That's the deal here. So we've got Trump talking about that. Trump talking about AI data centers and how you need to love them. Trump talking about it's a great economy, by the way. The economy is great. If you don't realize that, it's your fault. That's fun. That's good. And now there is. And so here's what's really happening, guys. And I've kind of touched on this a little bit. But what's really happening right now is all the people that have been trying to prop up MAGA and all the people that are trying to prop up Trump and run defense for this disastrous administration, it's becoming so indefensible. And, they've kind of played this game for over a year now where it's like, oh, just wait. Trump will do the right thing about this. Trump's got a plan for that. And it's a year later and nothing happens, right? They celebrated the Comey arrest. It never happened. They celebrated the Letitia James arrest. It never happened. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Hey, gas prices are just temporary. High interest rates are just temporary. All this stuff that they've been, it's all good. It's just short-term pain for long-term gain. They've been saying it for over a year now. So the denialism is kind of reached its end. This defense of the Trump administration has kind of reached its end. And it kind of, I don't know if it was the whole burrito conversation that was what led to the end of the denial, but that is kind of the mile marker, ironically. It's kind of the mile marker when they told you, hey, go eat a refried bean burrito, brokey. It's the golden age. That was kind of the mile marker where it was like, crap, we can't really defend this anymore, can we? There's no justifying this anymore. We're still in the war. Gas prices are still high. Everything's too expensive, on and on and on. So now you start to see they're pivoting. Now you start to see the MAGA defense team is pivoting. And they're saying, hey, you know what? It's not that bad. It's like, hey, you know what? It could be worse. It's like, yeah, you know what? But at least it's not Democrats. And I've got some examples of this today. And look, I don't want to make a general assumption about these people, but everything is interpretation right now. Everything is perception right now. And my perception, my interpretation of this development is I'm looking square at the MAGA defense team, and I'm saying, okay, so this is the big moment where you guys admit you're phonies. It's okay. It's okay. Just admit you were always cheerleaders. Just admit you were never serious. Just admit you're not serious about politics. You're not serious about political commentary. Just admit you're not serious about saving the country. Just admit now it was all a big Trump cheerleading campaign. Just it's okay. It's all right. We don't have to fight. We don't have to be mad at you. But if this is your big concession time, it's time to just come out and admit it. You're not serious people. You're people that sell Trump hats. You're people that sell Trump shirts. You're people that just rode the wave of Trump. You've got your little personalities. You've got your little online business models. And this is your big moment. You're finally having to face the truth. Trump got us into a new war. Nothing's going to happen with the Epstein files. Interest rates aren't going down. Gas prices aren't going down. The housing market's a mess. Trump is responsible now for 20% of the national debt. You're in another war. I mean, it's just on. So they can't defend it anymore. So now it's it could be worse, guys. Stop complaining. It could be worse. All right. Okay. So you guys were never serious. That's fine. I'm okay. I kind of assumed you guys were frauds the entire time anyway. But it's like, let's just come out with it now. You were never serious. You were never serious about politics. You were never serious about the policies of Trump. For you, it was all a circus carnival. For you, it was all a cheerleading gambit. It was all a Trump train ride. Well, the ride is over. In case you haven't noticed, it's a different ride now. Now you're having to defend why nobody can afford to get groceries or eat a burrito. Now you have to defend why gas prices are high. Now you have to defend why there's no Epstein files arrest. Now you have to defend why you're in another war in the Middle East, and you're just kind of sick of it, aren't you? Yeah, I get it. I get it. So just come out in a minute. You guys were never serious. You were never serious about the issues. You were never serious about the politics. You had some fun. You wore a cool hat. Maybe you went to some events. You had some parties. You had a nice online personality, business model. You were part of the Trump circus. You felt cool. You felt on the in crowd, popular. You got some social media clout. Maybe you got to go to Mar-a-Lago. Maybe you got to go to the White House. You got a Trump challenge coin. Hey, you had fun, man. You had fun. But the fun and games is over, in case you haven't noticed. And so now you can't deny what a disaster this thing is. So you're just saying, well, just accept it, guys. Well, that's the thing about us. That's not how we work. I know you guys can cuck. I know you guys don't mind living on your knees. Not us. Not us. We stand up tall with our chest out and our chin up. And we say, no, this government is corrupt. I don't care who's in the White House. No, this country needs major reform. I don't care what party is in charge. So you fail to that? You fail to do that for us? We call you out on it. Now, I guess the question becomes, and I've always said this from day one, when do they completely bow out? When do they decide they're not going to run any defense for Trump anymore? Oh, and that's going to be the big wake-up call for Donald. All the people that were willing to fight for Donald, all the people that were willing to go to the mat for Donald, they're all gone. He burned those bridges. And now all the current MAGA people, let's just see. Let's just see if they stick around when the weather gets worse and it starts raining like it is now. And all of a sudden they don't want to play defense anymore. Let's just see. So we got that. You know, I'm already looking at the stat, guys, and I'm already sick of it. I'm already sick of the news. I haven't even covered it. I'm already sick of it. I mean, I'm heartbroken. I really am. And I'm heartbroken because the issue is so convoluted that doing real coverage of it, it's like you can't even win. And I saw this coming over a year ago. I said, now you're going to have the Middle East war in the United States. You're going to have people waving Palestine flags, people waving Israeli flags. You're going to have fights in the streets. And now it's everywhere. Now it's everywhere. And so I got all these videos. You've got Zionists getting into fights with people waving Palestinian flags, and it's all of this stuff. And it's like, I don't even want to look at it, man. I can't even stand this garbage. So that's in the stack. But, you know, here's what's so sad about it. And this is just true. This is just true. It's like, how do you cover any side of this? It's like, how do you cover the truth about this without the woke right calling you an anti-Semite? Or how do you cover the truth about this and not sounding like a woke leftist? Because the truth of the matter is, there is no denying now. I mean, folks, anti-Semitism is on the rise. I mean, let's just say what it is. I mean, anti-Semitism is on the rise. Now, that doesn't mean just because you criticize Israel, you're an anti-Semite, obviously. But, I mean, it's reaching a point now where, and you know, because here's the thing. It's people like Benjamin Netanyahu. It's people like Randy Fine. It's these hardcore right-wing Zionists that want to attach Israel and Zionism to Jews. They do that intentionally because they want to use any Jewish person, any Jewish individual as a human political body shield so that they can get away with all kinds of crimes and lies and treason. And then they just put some Jewish individual in front of you. And if you say, hey, I don't like what you're doing, they say, look at this anti-Semite. It's like, no, I'm criticizing a government. I'm criticizing a policy here. I'm criticizing military activity. And they'll just put some innocent Jewish person in front of you like, look at this anti-Semite. He hates Jews. So that's right-wing Zionists that have done that. So right-wing Zionists are the ones responsible for the rise of anti-Semitism. Just because Americans want to criticize a foreign government, just because Americans want to criticize a foreign lobby, just because Americans want to criticize a foreign policy does not make them an anti-Semite. In fact, right now, it's the most patriotic thing you can do. Right now, the most patriotic thing you can do as an American is to get the Israeli lobby out of our politics. That is the number one issue for many Americans right now. Number one, whether you like it or not. So then what do? Here they come, putting an innocent Jewish person in front of you and saying, see, you're an anti-Semite. It's like, I'm not talking about Jews. You guys talk about Jews. And so now you've got all these videos. I mean, I've got it in Norway. I've got it in Iceland. I've got it in England. I've got it in Spain. I've got it in America. I've got it in Ireland. This is all in the stack today. And it's Jews getting harassed because of Israel. And all I want is out of the Middle East. All I want is foreign influence and foreign lobbying out of my politics. That's all I want. That's all I want. But you see, there are people in this country, and they see their entire political existence in America to benefit Israel. That's their entire purpose here. That's their entire purpose in the media. That's their entire purpose in politics, is everything they can do to benefit Israel. They don't care about America. They're not American patriots. If they had to make a choice, they would consider themselves Israeli. All we want is this out of our country and out of our politics. And by the way, Israel would treat this the same way. If you reversed the dynamics, the Israelis would be outraged. They'd probably be violent about it by now. Israelis would be 100 times more violent than Americans are right now, trying to get the American lobby out of their country if the roles were reversed. Let's be honest. I mean, they'd be feeding us to alligators. They'd be putting us in rape pits. They'd be having animals rape us. This is what they do. That's what they'd be doing to us if the roles were reversed. So, there you go. That's a nice, light way to start the show, isn't it, guys? Isn't that nice and light for you? Isn't that great? That's what we got today. No, actually, we do have some other data center news. More local jurisdictions are banning data centers. There's even some Epstein news today. And some vaccine news. Isn't that nice? We got a nice new mRNA vaccine for you guys. So, roll up that sleeve and take your Trump injection. The father of vaccines. Take your Trumpy shot. Take your Trumpy shot, guys. Come on. Don't you love a Trumpy shot? No. No, we like to keep foreign toxins out of our body. That's why we filter our water with the official water filter of the Owen Report, the Cove Pure Water Filtration System. Get yours today at covepure.com/Owen. Let me tell you why this is the only water filter I have in my house. First of all, the reverse osmosis purification is the best purification out there. But if you talk to water snobs, they'll come back at you and they'll say, well, the problem with reverse osmosis is that it dealkalizes the water. It just takes everything out of it. Well, that is true. The good news is the Cove Pure Water Filtration System realkalizes the water after the reverse osmosis filtration. It doesn't get any better than that, except it does. You can have hot water, scalding hot water instantly. You want to drink some instant coffee, make some tea, one push of a button, scalding hot water. Or ice cold water instantly, one push of the button. And you can do them one after the other too. I don't know how it does it. I'm still a little mystified at how it's able to do that. I'm not sure I want to know. I think this thing is actually, we keep hearing about aliens. I think this thing is actually from space. So, hey, you don't want the toxins in your body. You don't want to drink the fluoride, the forever chemicals, all the other stuff that gets in the water. Get yourself a Cove Pure Water Filtration System at covepure.com/Owen. And for America's 250th birthday, you can get $250 off. You heard that right. For America's 250th birthday, $250 off the Cove Pure water filtration system right now at covepure.com/Owen.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
So let's just do this live. I'm sorry to do this, guys. I have to do this. I really do apologize for doing this live. I apologize to the audience today, but I kind of have no other choice. I have to do this live, and I got to do this right now with DMT. Now, I'm assuming that the opening song there had no audio issues. I'm assuming that's the case. Guys, I'm assuming that's the case. Producer DMT, let me know if I'm wrong. I'm assuming that we had no issues with that because we don't run the audio through StreamYard. And so that's the problem. In fact, let me just do this right now. Let's just do this right now because I got to figure out if I'm going to have audio issues. I can't have Wilson on today. I'm not going to do that to him. That would be disrespectful. Let me see if this clip has an echo.
We're doing an unbelievable job. Costs are coming way down. I inherited, they talk about costs. I inherited very, very high costs. And they're all coming down now. The food, the groceries, it's all coming down. We've done a great job. I think we should be given an A+ on the economy, but we're doing an unbelievable job. Costs are coming way down. I inherited, they talk about.
What a shame. What a shame. All right. Yeah, that's because, it's totally StreamYard, guys. It's literally a StreamYard issue. The reason why it's 100% confirmed now. The reason why there was no echo is because I was originally playing the clip not through StreamYard, but in order to put it on the show, it has to go through StreamYard. And so when I put it through StreamYard, it had an echo. So, no, it's a StreamYard issue, guys. That's just what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. I don't know how they can't figure this out. Quite frankly, it's a very Bush League of them. And that's unbelievable. I guess we could do audio only. Yeah. So we can do audio only for the clips, but I've got to cancel Wilson. I've got to cancel Wilson. So no, I don't need to test it anymore. I got producer DMT here saying run another test. I don't need to. That's the last test I need. It's not going to work. It's the same issue. It's StreamYard. Anybody that's on StreamYard is going to get butched. So we can't do it. I apologize, guys. I really do. We're gonna still do the show. We're gonna kick it back into gear. I got to cancel Andrew, though. All right. So we can do audio only clips. All right. So we're just gonna do audio only here on Trump. There's other options I can do, but it's not worth fiddling with it right now. We'll just deal with this today. Okay. Yeah, we do need to test the phone lines too. I'm just concerned that we're going to have the same problem on the phones, probably. The only thing is I might be able to put a buffer between the phones and StreamYard. So I might actually be able to pull off phone calls. I might actually be able to pull off the phone calls. But let's do the show. Let's do the show. I just want to make sure that Wilson knows. I apologize, guys. Really do. Very unprofessional of me. I apologize to the audience, but there's just no other way to do this. So, okay, let's get to the show. All right, so here's Trump talking about how great the economy is.
We're doing an unbelievable job. Costs are coming way down. I inherited, they talk about costs. I inherited very, very high costs, and they're all coming down now. The food, the groceries, it's all coming down. We've done a great job. I think we should be given an A+ on the economy, but we're doing an unbelievable job.
I mean, it's so delusional. It's like not even worth responding to. It's so delusional. And you have to wonder, when is this gambit going to come to an end? When is this big lie, this big act going to come to an end? And for Trump, it's like you get it, because he's trying to convince you his administration is a success. And maybe in his own twisted philosophy, he thinks it's better to lie than it is to tell the truth. In his own twisted philosophy, he thinks it's patriotic to lie to you and basically run a psyop on you because it's good for the country. And he's expressed thoughts, maybe in a jovial way, but he's expressed thoughts about, he's jealous of North Korea. He's jealous of China. So, yeah, nobody's buying it, Trump. You can't tell people how great the economy is when they're living on a tight budget now, going on nearly 10 years. I mean, it's been 6 years of this now. It's been 6 years since your COVID economy and your COVID economic policies did permanent damage to the American economy. You did that. Now, if you want to blame COVID, fine, but that's still under your watch. And it's not getting any better. And now we're back in the Middle East. So he wants to try to sell you that the tariffs are great. Do you buy that?
Things we put it together between the tariffs that have been, the tariffs have made us rich. Remember, I used to say that tariffs are my favorite word. I love tariffs. They're my favorite word in the dictionary. Tariff. I love tariffs, right? Because we've been screwed by tariffs used against us for years.
Oh, we have been screwed by tariffs. We just got screwed by tariffs again. The American people paid for the tariffs, and then you bailed out the companies that raised their prices for the tariffs. So, yeah, but it's like, who's telling him to say this? Is anybody telling Trump that this isn't resonating? Is anybody telling Trump he's making an ass of himself? Is anybody telling him this? Is anybody in his ear saying, Mr. President, maybe reconsider the messaging? Anybody? Because he keeps saying this, and it gets worse and worse every time he says it. Now, that was at a speech he gave in Nevada, which I don't even have all the clips from the Nevada speech. It's getting weird, guys. Sheriff Joe Lombardo was up there, and he mentions the name of a fallen officer, but because the fallen officer's name, I guess, was like Muslim, I guess it sounded like a Muslim name. So Sheriff Joe Lombardo says the name of a fallen officer, and the audience starts booing. And he's like, no, he's a fallen police officer. We like him. It was like, oh, that was awkward. Then, I believe it was Lombardo again, said, hey, Trump has to make his billionaire friends happy. They're the ones propping up the economy. It's like, oh, my God. Oh, my goodness gracious. This thing is it's getting so bad, guys. It's getting so bad. But so, okay, he was saying that in Nevada at a campaign rally. And then he also did an interview for Fox News. And he starts talking about tariffs. He starts talking about data centers. Here he is bragging on Fox News last night about how great tariffs are.
One, you're here to talk about the economy.
Right.
What's your big message? You want to leave one takeaway with this crowd. What is it?
So tariffs have been incredible. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars. Supreme Court gave us a little shot, but we're allowed to do it in a different manner. They said that, but we are anyway. I mean, regardless, we have the law. I was doing
One, you're here.
I mean, this is hilarious. I mean, he's basically admitting he's ignoring the Supreme Court and trying to find a loophole. Which, hey, if the tariffs were working, then this would be fine. If the tariffs were actually working and we were having the desired result, then you know what? I would be okay with that. I would have no problem with that. But the tariffs aren't working. And now, in his defiance of the Supreme Court, he's setting himself up for more trouble. And there's no will from the Republican Party. Believe me, when the Democrats get in power, the Republicans are going to shrivel up. They're going to shrivel up, folks. So nobody's going to defend him when they come after him if they determine he committed a crime with tariffs. But again, does he even know what's going on? The tariffs brought us in all this money, and then you paid it to all the big corporations. You paid it to Amazon. You paid it to Walmart. You paid it to Target. The list goes on and on. They got the money. Not we paid for the overpriced goods because they raised the prices after the tariffs. And then you bailed out the companies that raised their prices. They won. We lost. Does Trump even know that? That's honestly, does Trump even know that that happened? By the way, guys, I have this from very good sources. I have friends in the professional hair hat industry. I have friends that are head rug aficionados. And it looks like the pros tell me, the experts tell me, Donald Trump got a new hair hat. Donald Trump has a new rug on his head. And you know what? I have no problem with that, actually. I feel like, women get to do all these cosmetic procedures and nobody really bats an eye. But a man wants to put on a head of hair and all of a sudden it's like a different stigma to it. I support Trump's new hair. I do. I support your new hair, Trump. I don't want to be a hypocrite here now. There is no rug here, though, for now. I think we're good. I think we're all right here. So, hey, I'm just saying. The hat hair aficionados, the head rug professionals tell me they think Trump got a new job. What do you guys think about the new job? What do you guys think about the new rug? It's kind of nice. It's kind of got a bold look. It's a little more golden hued. It's a little bolder. It's a little more boisterous on top of his head. Or maybe that's just, everybody came after me when I did the hair job. Oh, I'm a midlife crisis, all of this stuff. Well, hey, where are you guys? What about Trump? Is Trump having a crisis with the new dome? Or maybe Trump was inspired by one Owen Schroyer hair job. You notice how all these guys are now doing the blonde hair, by the way? Just saying, it's a trend now. Just, whatever. Just a thing. So Trump was also talking about how great the deal with Venezuela was and all the oil and money it's made us.
We're taking a lot of oil from Venezuela, and we're getting along great with them. Billions and billions of barrels of oil is coming out of Venezuela. It's one of the most fertile places for oil in the world. And as you know, it was a 48-minute war, lasted 48 minutes. And we paid for the war with what we've taken out many, many, many times. Where have you heard that before? You haven't heard that before. It's the old-fashioned way, right? It's the old-fashioned way. To the victor belong the spoils, right? And we're doing the same thing, by the way, in the lovely Islamic Republic of Iran. We're knocking the hell out of it.
It's hilarious. So he's just admitting these are all oil wars up there. Like we used to consider that corrupt. You remember when Republicans used to deny that? I don't know, maybe you appreciate it from Trump. Republicans used to pretend like they weren't doing wars for oil. Like that was the big like left-wing attack. It's like another oil war. And they always denied it. They said they hate us for our freedom. Oh, okay. And then when they come here for our freedom, you complain too. All right. So, but Trump just admits it's all for oil. The problem is all the oil from Venezuela went straight to Israel, literally. And then as far as this billions of cash, you know, I don't know where that's coming from. And he says, to the victor go the spoils. The victor in what? Were we in a war with Venezuela? And if we were in a war with Venezuela, why? Just so we could take their oil? Is this what we're doing in Iran too? So maybe you appreciate the honesty. Yes, we are going to take the oil from Venezuela because fuck them, that's why. Fuck them good. And we're going to take that oil and we're going to sell it or give it to Israel, whatever they want, really. Whatever Bibi wants, that's what we're going to do. And then once we finish the job in Venezuela, we're going to go into Iran. They got a lot of oil too. My goodness, great oil over there. So we're going to start a war with Iran for oil too. That one might be a little more difficult. Some of you might have to die. In fact, probably a lot of you. Could be a lot. Could be a lot of death for this one. We don't mind as long as we get rich. As long as we get rich, it's all okay. We're going to get so rich. Not you, not you. Yeah, you in the audience, not you. You cheering over there. No. No, you probably can't even afford a burrito, it's my guess. But we'll be rich, me and my friends. We're going to be so rich. And I'm going to be withholding information from you and only giving it to the people in my 100K club so that they can get stinking rich. You'll be broke, don't worry. You won't see gas prices come down. But we're going to do another war for oil. It's going to be great. And to the victor go the spoils. And in case you haven't noticed, you are not the victors. You're not. You're the losers. You're the losers. The victors are my donors. Those are the winners. Maybe you appreciate the honesty from Trump. Just maybe. And then he's pitching, hey, we need the AI data centers, guys. We need them.
At a very low cost to the grid. So we're getting more and more electric. Costs us nothing. I think any community that turns down AI is making a big mistake because your taxes are going to go way down. If you own a house, it's going to be more valuable. It's a tremendous thing. And I see it, it's almost like there's a campaign against, data centers. But data centers, if you look at the stats, everything's good around them. Now, the thing they should look at is blue states and blue cities. Cities run by Democrats, because that's really the threat to the country.
What is that? What are we even... Wait, these are two completely separate things. What did we just do?
Because they're a disaster. But when you turn down data centers, and within this country, when they get turned down, there's other communities that want them desperately.
So why don't you put them on your property then? Why don't we turn Mar-a-Lago into a data center? Why don't we put the data centers around your golf courses? And why don't we put a data center in Trump Tower then? It's such BS. It's such BS. And you know what? It's hilarious to sit here and listen to the same people that will scarecrow and strawman communism all day long and the Chinese communists. And then they're going to sit here and say, we have to have the data centers like the Chinese communists. Do you know why the communists have them? Do you know about the CCP's surveillance state in China? That's what you're supporting now. That's what we're building here. Now, again, if they want to be honest, you can approach this differently. So if they were coming out and they were saying, all right, here's the deal, guys. Of course, if they were honest, we'd all reject it. So that's why they lie to us. But if they were being honest, they would say, hey, the whole world is about to turn into a surveillance state. In fact, we're going to run some giant global operation here that's going to put us into a world government. We already tried it with COVID and it failed, but we are going to try it again. And this time we're going to have the surveillance state already built. So whenever the global government goes live and the AI surveillance state goes live, guys, we want to be in charge of it. We want to have all that data here. We want to have all those, all the hardware and the tech in the United States. So when the whole world goes into an AI surveillance state At least we'll be in charge of it, and at least we'll profit off of it. Well, if they were being honest, that's what they would say. But then, of course, you would listen to that and you would say, wait, you're doing what? I'm sorry, you said what about an AI surveillance state now? Yes, we're building a global government AI surveillance state. This is what we're putting all the data centers up for. And we want them here so that we can have all that data and be in control of it and probably make a little money off of it. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? That's what they're doing. By the way, though, you know, they're going to tell you how great this economy is. Here's a shocking statistic for you. Americans now pay more in taxes than they spend on food, clothing, and shelter combined. Government has become so big and bloated that taxes cost more than life's basic necessities. Every American taxpayer should be outraged. Now, we're going to have more on this. I don't want to say too much. I do intend to have Andrew Wilson, and he does still want to come on the show. So we will reschedule. This is an outrageous stat, guys. And I was actually shocked because Andrew wanted to come on the show and, you know, kind of the subject of the debate was, is America communist? And I was doing a little bit of debate prep just to have some talking points ready. And I was shocked. And this is ultimately how I ended up finding this, by the way. U.S. fiscal burden, government now costs more than living. Americans pay more in taxes than they spend on food, clothing, and housing. Sounds kind of communist to me. So we're building an AI surveillance state, and we pay more on taxes than we do on our own necessities. But hey, guys, enjoy your burrito. Enjoy your burrito. By the way, all of those people, it's amazing how easy it is now, thanks to X. And it's like some people are smart, I will say. Some people are smart, and they know if they're about to switch their opinion on a topic, like, say, data centers, or if they're going to switch their opinion on a topic like the war in Iran, or if they're going to switch their opinion on the topic like, is America affordable? Some people are smart enough to go back into their social media or search through their X account and delete any evidence that they're total phonies and delete any evidence that they're flip-flopping on the issue for whatever reason it is. So some people are smart enough to do that, but not all. Not all. And so it's easy to find all of these frauds that forget, oops, I used to post the opposite opinion all the time. Or yes, paid propaganda, however you want to put it. So we got a couple examples here. Daniel Concannon is finding these, by the way. Finds Dan Crenshaw here while Biden is president. America, our food prices are too high. What are you doing about inflation? Biden administration, just be vegan and stop complaining. Oh, yeah, so that was the right-wing attitude when Biden was president. But now that it's Trump, we don't say that. And doesn't it just show what a cult this is? Doesn't it just show what phonies and frauds these people are? Because now Dan Crenshaw says, stop whining, get a job, and eat ramen. Isn't that nice? The market doesn't care what you think something should cost. Only communists care. Oh. Isn't that nice? So Dan Crenshaw, when Democrats are in office, it's okay to complain about the economy. When Republicans are in office and the economy's not any better, it's not okay to complain about the economy. Got it, you total fraud. It's amazing the guy can have two different opinions when he only has one eye. And the guy that even started it all, Joel Berry, oh, we got him. Joel Berry, the guy that kicked it all off, the guy that gave us the landmark burrito moment, the guy that feeds his family. Are his kids malnourished? Has anybody checked on Joel Berry's kids? One burrito? I'm hungry, Daddy. Sorry, son, it's the greatest economy ever. Eat your refried bean burrito. We're stretching that meat. One burrito for you tonight. I'm hungry, Daddy. I'm hungry. Has anybody checked on his children? So we thank Joel Berry for giving us the burrito mile marker here. And this is ultimately the mile marker where we're going to recall looking back on it, and this is where MAGA finally is going to have to wave the white flag. And it's already happening, by the way. But here's Joel Berry, same thing. He's complaining about the economy all the time when Biden is president. Joel Berry, before long, we'll all be millionaires and still won't be able to afford groceries. Isn't that amazing? Complaining about grocery prices when Democrats are in, but everything's great when Trump is in. Hey, by the way, in case you're wondering why you're so broke, Bentley Kiev among the world's best dealerships despite the war. For a dealership operating in a country under immense geopolitical pressure, the achievement is remarkable. Yes, somehow a Bentley dealership in Kiev is they can't even keep these cars on the lot. How is that happening? How is it that in America, car salesmen can't even get cars off the lot, but in Kiev, they're moving Bentleys, they can't even keep them on the lot? Bentleys. We're not talking about like a Ford Fusion that, you know, a 2020 Ford Fusion a guy can't sell for 18 grand. It's a damn Bentley, and they're just flying off who needs a Bentley? Like a Bentley gets in, it sells the next day. How'd they get all that money? Who are these people in Kiev that are just buying up Bentleys right off the lot, hot off the press? But hey, don't complain about groceries, America. By the way, maybe this is why Trump is warning gas prices are about to go up, because our nice friends in Ukraine just hit 2 oil refineries in Russia. Good job. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Gas prices aren't expensive enough, so let's start bombing more oil refineries. That should do the trick. Trump warns gas prices could rise again. We may have to send it up. Guys, I got to tell you, I was actually shocked because, you know, there's this weird thing right now with human psychology. I don't even know how to explain this, but it's like people have been deceived to go against their own instincts. People have been deceived to go against their own experience, their own eyes, their own ears, their own living experience. They've somehow been tricked and psyoped to not even believe the world that they live in. It's really hard to explain. And this is why you're looked at like a crazy person, maybe tie it into the stigma around being a conspiracy theorist. It's like if you're actually paying attention to the world around you, and you're able to observe and report and just notice trends and things that are happening in the world around you, and then you start talking about it, people think you're nuts. So it's like anybody can sit here and tell grocery prices are up. Like, I don't need to go back through my bank statements and see every time I went to the grocery store 10 years ago and what the price was, and then look at it today. I know grocery prices are way up. I don't have to sit here and reminisce on the past of riding my bike to the sandwich shop as a kid and getting a sub sandwich with my friends for $5. I don't need to reminisce about my dad giving me a $20 bill and dropping me and my friends off at Busch Stadium, and I'm able to get into the game and get a hot dog and a soda and a shaved ice. I know that. I remember that. It's like I don't need to sit here and go through the details, be like, are prices really up? It's like, oh, is rent really up? Are housing prices really up? Let me see. It's like, no, I'm living. I'm a human being. I'm alive. I'm conscious. I know this is happening. And there's this weird psyop where people like don't even trust their own experience. And they trust like a headline or a news report or something more than their own experience. But this is starting to get so undeniable. And I was actually shocked because I was looking into this a little bit. And it's, you know, it's hard to remember because when you're in college or you're in your early 20s, yeah, I mean, there's always a struggle that comes along with that, whatever that means to each individual. And if you're lucky enough where you never had to deal with financial issues, then good for you. But most people going through college, most people in their young professional careers, you're living on a tight budget. People talk about living off the dollar menu. How many people had a run in life, an experience in life living off the dollar menu? I certainly do. I remember a couple years in college where that was like, for me and my buddies, me and my roommates in college, it was like, yeah, the dollar menu. It's like, we're all broke. We're going to the dollar menu. It's like, you know what? Not the healthiest thing, but fills me up, $5, whatever. Get what I want for $5. Everybody can afford it. All right, we get to eat. I was never a big ramen guy, but that's another thing. So you kind of remember that. But now it's like, does that even exist? And that's kind of it's like, well, I'm not really in that position, but I could go to a drive-through at McDonald's and I could see there is no dollar menu. I could go and look at a Taco Bell menu. How many people? We used to collect change as kids. There just happened to be in my neighborhood. I feel so lucky. My neighbor, I think I grew up in the best neighborhood in the world in Wilson Woods, Missouri. And we had our local pool. It's kind of hidden in the woods. And then you'd walk through these woods, and then there was a Taco Bell. We used to like collect change. We'd like walk around the pool asking people for change. And we could scrape up like $5 in change, and we could all go up to Taco Bell and get like a cheesy gordita or something. Like, does that even exist anymore? Is that even possible anymore? Again, I'm not telling you these are unhealthy fast foods, but it's like, can you even do that anymore? I look back at rent. Rent is crazy. Rent is insane. And it's just like, you have a different experience. Everybody is different. It's like you're 20 now versus you're 35 now. It's like you're experiencing a different world than I was when I was 20. It's like, how much is similar? How much is different? Can you still go to a dollar menu? No. I look at rent, and it was like, there was no way. Most of us in college, young professionals, most of us probably had roommates in our 20s at some point in time. And, I remember I lived in a house in St. Louis, Dogtown. Great place. Probably lived there for like 6 years or so. And I had a bunch of different roommates. The lease was under my name. It's 3 bedrooms. I had probably like 10 different roommates coming in and out in those 10 years. But even the months, like there were a couple months where I had vacant rooms. It was like I could still afford the rent. It was like it wasn't a good situation, but I could still afford to pay the rent without the roommates. Could you even do that today? Even a single bedroom, the cheapest is like $1,600, $1,800. It's crazy. It's crazy. The house that I was renting for 6 years, I don't even think they raised the price on me. It was a 3-bedroom house in Dogtown, St. Louis, and it was like $950 a month. I mean, it wasn't the nicest house, but it was perfectly fine. 3 bedrooms, had a big backyard, had a front yard, like 10 minutes from everything. Walkable distance to everything in Dogtown. If you know the area, it's Dogtown. It's awesome. It's kind of a throwback. You don't even need a car. It's like, can you even do that? Is there any city where you could rent a 3-bedroom house for $900? Does that even exist anywhere? That's not even that long ago. This is like 10, 15 years ago. When I left St. Louis in 2016, that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago in St. Louis, I was paying $900 for a 3-bedroom house. There's no way. There's no way that even exists anymore. The economy is great, though. So here's the conclusion, and I've been kind of teasing this all week. But I think we're finally at the point. There is no real defense of Trump anymore. You can't play defense anymore. They've been playing this game for over a year. Oh, Trump's got the plan. The war will be over soon. The gas will go down soon. The groceries will go down soon. The interest rates will go down soon. Oh, we just got to do a quick war. You know, all this garbage. Now it's over a year long, and they can't defend it anymore. They can't defend it anymore. So they're pivoting. So no more is the MAGA Trump cult going to try to convince you of these things that just simply aren't true. Now they're just telling you to stop complaining. Now they're saying, hey, just stop complaining. You know, that's amazing. Can you imagine if Democrats said this when Biden was in office? Or better yet, could you imagine if Republicans said this when Biden was in office? Imagine if Biden in his office, you're complaining about the economy, and Republicans said, hey, stop complaining about the economy. Everything's fine. Can you imagine what MAGA would be saying? But now that's what they're trying to convince you under Trump. And the economy is no better. It's no different under Trump than Biden. It's virtually the same. Some might argue it's worse. But I would say it's virtually the exact same. So this is it. And just to be clear, I'm not picking fights. I like these guys. I do. I think these are good guys. But you know what? Hey, this is politics, buddy. And you guys are on the losing side of this, unfortunately. And the longer it takes for you guys to realize you've been duped, the farther setback we're going to get here. And that's the problem. So you guys probably know these guys. I like Ben Bergwam with Real America's Voice. I think he's a great guy. I like Bricksuit. Seems like a fine guy. Seems like a really nice guy. I've had disagreements with him on different spaces on X. Nice guy. Get along fine with him. But I feel like this is their admission. There's no more defending Trump. There's no more trying to sell people it's a success. So now you just have to say, quit complaining.
God bless you. What's your message to
Oh, wait, I forgot. We can't do the, well, we'll do it without the video. I forgot we can't do the videos today,
America?
guys.
You know, my message to America is optimism. There's a lot of people out there with a negative message and are getting traction because they're being negative.
No, it's not a negative message. It's reality. This isn't about getting traction because it's negative. This is about getting traction because it's true. So, would you be selling optimism during Biden? Of course not. You'd be calling him out. So why are you trying to sell it under Trump? Because now you're having to admit that Trump has failed. You're having to admit that all these things you've been selling the public, the war will be over soon, gas is coming down, the economy is going to be great, everything. All these lies, none of them have come true. It's been over a year, and now you're sitting here eating crow. And so you're saying, well, guys, just be optimistic. Oh, this negativity gets tread because it's just negative. No, because it's true, guys. It's true. And eventually you'll get there. Eventually you're going to be forced to admit it. It's fine. I get it. But no, gas prices are still expensive. They're still high. You know what the average, I was just looking all of this. You know what the average, I'm actually curious. Let me open the chat, guys. Quick test in the chat here. What was the average price per gallon in 2009, January 2009? What do you guys think in the chat? It's January 2009. What is the average price per gallon in the United States of America? What do you guys think? 2009. 2009. Boom, we have a winner. 112, 114. $1.79. $1.79 was the average price of gas per gallon in January of 2009. $1.79. Now, what is it today? Probably like four something. $4.06 is the average price per gallon. $4.06. So that's more than double. Gas has more than doubled. And of course, the price of gas determines the price of everything else. And so there you go. So you can't tell us gas is coming down. It's not. You can't tell us that interest rates are coming down. They're not. You can't tell us the war is over. It's not. You can't tell us there's no new wars. We're in a new war. You can't tell us there's been no casualties. There have been. So all the stuff that you've been selling that has ended up being not true because Trump duped you, because Trump set you up for failure, and all the stuff that you've been selling ended up being false. Now you're just saying, hey, just be optimistic. It's not about being real. It's about negativity spreads. No, guys. No, guys. Reality spreads. And Trump has set you up for failure. And I feel bad that you haven't figured this out yet.
America.
You know, my message to America is optimism. There's a lot of people out there with a negative message and are getting traction because they're being negative. Look at the good side. Look at the bright side. We are in such a great position to take this victory home and set our country up for such success to continue the golden age. Don't give in to the naysayers out there who are saying that there's nothing good going to happen, because we're in the middle of it and you can make it happen. It's within you to make it happen. That's my...
Imagine saying that when Biden was president. Can you imagine somebody saying that when Biden was president? I mean, give me a break. This is so pathetic, guys. I love you. I do. I love you. But this is pure cuckery. Okay? This is pure political cuckery. And it's pathetic. Stop it. Please, guys. Please, stop it. There is no golden age. Trump literally said this is as good as it's going to get. Like, do you guys even follow your cult leader? Do you guys even listen to what your cult leader says? Do you even know what he's doing?
I love that. The Lord put that on my heart a couple years ago. Wake up. Thank the Lord for all of the blessings in your life. Don't focus on the negative. Blake, I love that, brother. That's a great...
I mean, what do you, so just don't cover politics then. So then get out of politics. If you're going to sit here and say don't cover the negative things, then please get out of politics. Get out of MAGA. Get out of the media. You're not a real media person. You're not a real political commentator. You're not a real political pundit. You're not a real journalist. You're not a real reporter. You're a cheerleader. You're a cult member. I say this in peace and love. I say this with a human soul and a human heart and a human spirit, because I know you're not bad people, guys. If this is your message because Trump isn't delivering on promises now, if this is your message because all the things that Trump has been telling you to tell your followers and tell your audience, and none of this stuff has come true for over a year now, so now you just say, oh, quit being negative. Quit talking about negative. It's the golden age. Everything's great. You would have never said that under Biden. And if that's going to be your attitude as an individual of a political movement or in the political media, then just leave. Go put on a cheerleader outfit and go out onto the field and do some high leg kicks and wave some pom-poms around, because you're not a serious political commentator and you're not even engaging in serious politics at this point. You're selling cult behavior to your following. And you're better than that. You're better than that. I'm trying to pull you out of this. Stop it. Hold your politicians accountable no matter who they are. Don't discount reality just because you think it's negative. That's like putting your head, you know what, it's putting your head up your ass. That's what it is. You're sticking your head up your own ass here. Stop it. Pull your head out of your damn ass.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
You have found your political compass. The Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right. First off, yes, we had a debate scheduled with Andrew Wilson for this hour. I had to call that off because of technical issues. We are having audio issues on StreamYard today, and there is no troubleshooting them. So I didn't want to bring Andrew on today when we can't get audio figured out. So no, that was me. I had to cancel that. Andrew has said he wants to reschedule. So I think that we will be able to get it done. If StreamYard can't figure out its issues by the end of this week, we will be moving on from StreamYard. So that could be a bit of a process, and hopefully we can handle that no problem. It won't affect the show. But if they can't figure it out, I'm not gonna reschedule the debate until I know we can have good audio. So either StreamYard can figure its stuff out, or we're moving on. It's likely going to be we're moving on anyway. I will also say, this is kind of funny. We have a pretty good contingent. We have a pretty good contingent of listeners in St. Louis. And, producer DMT was once my neighbor in Dogtown. How do you like that? And you may know Alex McCarthy as well from the chat, old high school buddy of mine. He lived in that house in Dogtown. Man, the Dogtown St. Patty's Day parade. If you're from St. Louis, you know about it. If not, you're like, what are you talking about, Troyer? It used to go right in front of our house. And so on St. Patrick's Day, it was like you couldn't even stop a party from breaking out in your front yard. But anyway, so I get sent during the break people showing me what rent is like in Dogtown now. That's crazy. Folks, 3 bedrooms are going for $3,000 a month. And I know the St. Louis market is just insane right now. It's like the opposite of the Austin market. I can't believe when I left Dogtown in 2016, I was paying $900 a month for a 3-bed, 1-bath. $900 a month, 3-bed, 1-bath. Now these are going for $3,000 a month. Golden age, baby. Never going to get any better. Hey, here's one more thing. I don't know if they want to be, I'm not going to say their names. They may not want names. But I found this out today too. This one really felt good. I have to tell you, this one kind of got me a little emotional today, and I don't really get emotional. My emotions don't really reach the surface too often here. Right? I don't get emotional here. No, it turns out 2 listeners of the show that used to be in the chat all the time, by the way, they haven't been in the chat for a while, have fallen in love, I'm told. I'm told there were 2 listeners of the show. They linked up in the chat. They linked up in real life, and now they've fallen in love. I mean, guys, now that's winning. That is winning right there. So, yeah. It was a friend of mine, and I just reached out, hadn't talked in a while. Well, I'd met this individual out before, and we hadn't talked in a while. So I said, hey, how you going? How are things? Oh, well, I met somebody from the chat. We actually met up, and now we're in love. I said, whoa, the Owen Report, the love connection. What are we doing here covering politics when we can be making love? What are we doing? No, it wasn't 2 dudes. This was this is a heterosexual relationship. Good Lord, you guys. But you know what? If it was, whatever. Just don't adopt any kids. Just don't adopt any kids. Don't do that. All right. Just keep that out of this. Anyway, a love story here. A love story. How do you like that? All right. I guess we got to cover some news here, huh? Senate committee votes to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. Committee Chair Rand Paul, longtime Fauci foe, said the referral from the party line vote would be delivered to the Attorney General today, bypassing a full Senate vote. So now it is in the hands of the Trump administration and I guess Todd Blanche for the time being. Now this is how it's going to go at this point. Trump has already expressed he has no interest in prosecuting Fauci. Now, he could change his mind on that, but I think the whole interpretation of this news for the Trump administration is, okay, how can we use this to our advantage? So I don't know if they think they can get anything out of Fauci, or maybe they think we need a victory bad here. I mean, we are hemorrhaging support. Maybe they think if we can leverage a Fauci prosecution into some good poll ratings ahead of the midterms, then maybe they decide to go with it. So I think that's what this is all going to be about. Now, for Trump, in this process, he's essentially going to have to guarantee Fauci that nothing's going to happen to him. So my conspiracy theory guess, this is how it's going to go. Now, I don't know if Trump and Fauci will communicate themselves, but Trump will basically have a surrogate communicate with Fauci about this contempt of Congress and basically say, all right, here's the deal, Fauci. The president doesn't really want to prosecute you. The president really doesn't want you to have to go through this, but there's a demand for this. He needs a little boost in the approval ratings right now. He needs a little help ahead of the midterms. So we're going to do a head fake. We're going to do a head fake like we're going to prosecute you. We're going to put out some headlines. Maybe Trump will make a post and we'll make it look like we're going to fight you, but we're not really going to do it. And the reason why this is how the Trump administration is going to have to handle this, you have to understand, guys, if Fauci goes down, so does Trump. 100%. If Fauci takes the fall on this, Trump is going down too. Now, that might not be, I'm not even necessarily talking about legal ramifications or anything like that when it comes to President Trump, but if they go after Fauci and Trump has not assured protection for Fauci, Fauci's going to get in front of the media and he's going to say, Donald Trump told me to do it. Donald Trump told me to lock down the economy. Donald Trump told me to do the mask mandates. Donald Trump told me to get the vaccines done, even though I warned him they would be unsafe. Trump is the one that made me do that. And guess what? Yep, they were deadly. And then Trump takes the fall. So Fauci's safety net is Trump. Because if Fauci goes, Trump goes down with him. So my guess is they're either going to do nothing and they're just going to hope this thing goes away, or they'll do a head fake like they did with Comey and like they did with Letitia James, and they'll pretend like they're going to do something. And by the way, you talk to these MAGA cult members, they think James Comey was actually arrested. I mean, guys, they don't even live in reality. They think Comey was arrested. They think Trump got Comey. Now, look, this is how propaganda works. And in fact, when you go back and you look at the original censorship waves, they always target people who go live. They don't target channels that upload content. They don't target channels that will respond to a news story hours later, days later. When you go back and you look at this, and I could give an example. I mean, I don't know if it's like this. Why, when InfoWars had everything wiped out in 2018, all my stuff included, now Paul Joseph Watson was at InfoWars at the time, how is it that his channel was the only one that didn't get taken down? How did Paul Joseph Watson's channel survive the censorship when every other person and channel connected to Alex and InfoWars all went down, including mine? Because Paul doesn't go live. Paul does video content, response videos, hours later, days later, whatever. So even though his channel was huge and he has viral videos, he doesn't go live. And so it wasn't really as big of an issue to take his channel down, because that's what they need. They need to control the narrative in the first hour or two. And if they can reach you when the news is breaking, and if they can reach you when the news is trending and it's viral, and you see Trump arrest Comey, you actually think it happened. It never did. So that's why it's all about narrative control in those first couple hours when news is breaking. So my guess is they'll do a head fake on Fauci. They'll either hope this thing just goes away, or they'll do a head fake like they did with Comey and nothing will happen. But hey, we got another mRNA shot, guys. We got another mRNA shot here. FDA approves first mRNA flu shot from Moderna. The vaccine, called mFlusiva, was approved for older adults. In trials, it was found to be about 27% more effective than the standard flu shot. Well, the standard flu shot is 0% effective. So I guess they're saying this one is 27% effective. Okay. I mean, this is crazy big pharma propaganda. And that's who Trump works with and works for now. Trump is a big pharma stooge. Now, if you want to get real conspiratorial here, it looks like they are, they're saying this is for older people. They're saying, oh, it's good for 55 and up. Here's an administration that's broke. Here's an administration that needs money. Oh, let's give this mRNA shot to the people on Social Security. Oh, yeah. Let's give the mRNA shot to the people that are bogging down our medical systems, our Medicare, our Medicaid. Yeah, let's give them this shot. A budget issue we had with Social Security is all of a sudden gone. A budget issue we had with Medicare is all of a sudden gone. Oh, and now we've got more money for the war. Hee, yay, all right. No. That's too conspiratorial. It's funny. I've been sitting on this video for a while. Finally, I knew there'd be a day where it would be the time to play it. And so today is the day. Oh, but I can't even play the video. I have to just do the audio. I forgot. Okay, so I'll just play the audio. This is a nurse speaking here. A nurse talking about how she now feels about vaccines.
I feel like I've just awakening, and normally I feel like I've just unlocked a new level of awakening, and normally I would be so scared to talk about vaccines because someone's going to label me anti-vax, but I literally don't care anymore because the truth is out there and it's right in front of our faces. You can look on the inserts and it's literally aborted fetuses in the vaccine ingredient list and all these other animal cells. I watched this 2-hour lecture and he broke it down so factual and by timeline and connected the dots of everything, and I looked everything up myself and it's all true. I'm going to be posting stuff soon about this, but long story short, Roe v. Wade was not meant for women's rights. It was not made to protect women and their bodies, to give them the opportunity to have an abortion if they need it. That's not the point of Roe v. Wade. The propaganda is real. It all makes sense. And it's so disgusting that they're using aborted fetuses to make our vaccines. Anyone who thinks otherwise, I don't care anymore. Yes, I'm anti-vaccine.
Unfortunately, what this nurse is saying is true. There are vaccines currently used in the U.S. produced using human cells line originally derived.
So there you go. Now, for those wondering if you're just tuning in why there's no video, we can't run anything through the StreamYard studio today, guys. Whatever, StreamYard is having some issues, and we cannot run anything through StreamYard. So that's why you're not seeing videos. Because if I show you the video, it has to run through StreamYard, and that's why we were getting the echo yesterday. We troubleshooted it. We tested it. It's just you can't, for whatever reason, you can't do it on StreamYard right now. And so we just have to run audio on a separate system, and we can't run it through StreamYard. So that's why you're not seeing the video. But there you go. Here's a wild one for you. Air medevac crew lost GPS during military jamming drill before fatal crash, NTSB says. The NTSB has not yet determined the probable cause or anything contributing to factors to the accident. No, this looks like they crashed the plane is what it looks like, guys. This looks like it's really bad. And what makes it worse is it caused a wildfire. It caused a wildfire. So the military's running these air jamming things, and this plane, this medvac plane, flies right over it, crashes, and causes a wildfire. Yikes. Probably a mistake, kind of like what happened the other day with Marine One taking off and other jets taking off at the same time. It's like we're getting closer to that idiocracy. You know, we're getting closer to this becoming full-on idiocracy here, just incompetence everywhere. Do you guys notice that too? Do you notice the incompetence everywhere? You know, and it's not just the incompetence. I think I had a story. I do have a story on this, so I'll stop right now. Do you guys remember, and I'm 50-50 if I even want to do it or not. But when you've been doing this long enough, you know when to kind of just go into like journalism mode and just start filming or recording or whatever. Do you guys remember? I swear it's like it's such a nothing burger, but yet there's actually a story there. I'm going to bring it up later, but do you guys remember a couple weeks ago I uploaded that video of the park Nazi kicking kids off the soccer field? And I told you that I did a follow-up with the commissioner, and I said, hey, this guy's kicking kids off the soccer field, and he said he would be, you know, that they'd handle it. This whole thing has become a whole new story, guys. There's a whole new story to this. And like I said, I've been around long enough. I know when to turn a camera on, when to do an audio recording. I have caught some of the craziest things on video and on audio dealing with this public park here locally in Austin, this public park down the road from me that they don't let kids play on. And something that happened recently. So I'm going to get to that later, but it kind of is like, it's like incompetence mixed with this weird, like, I don't even know how to explain it. People have given up self-government. It's like, they don't want to govern themselves. They don't want to be able to sit there or stand, whatever it is, and just have a group of men, and just say, hey, we're all here now. We have our own agency. We can self-govern this situation. What do we want to do here? Let's just do what makes sense. And it's just like, oh no, there's a magical, mystical government watching us, a magical mystery government that says we have to do this or that or whatever. Oh, you can't play at a park. And you're just standing there like, guys, hold on a second. Hey, we're all men here, okay? Like, can kids just play soccer at a park? And it's like, oh no, kids can't play soccer at a park. Like, do you not believe in self-government? Do you not want self-government? Guys, I'm not even kidding you. I'll probably eventually post this stuff. I kid you not, an audio recording of a Parks Department employee saying there's no fun and games allowed at the park. Dead serious. I have that. They said that to me on the phone. I said, hey, you know, you got guys out here kicking kids off of your park. They said there's no fun and games allowed at the park. I am in idiocracy now. Maybe I'll play it later in the show. I know this sounds crazy. You're like, guys, I'm telling you, this has been the craziest. It's it's like nobody cares. It's a local park here. It's like, hey, you can't have any victories at the national level. If I can just like get a local park to open up for kids, like it makes me feel good. You know, it makes me feel good. And you know why? Because I was that kid. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, what in the hell country is this? Like, I grew up in an America where if there were kids and a field, you played. Like, what? It didn't matter where. We used to play in people's front yards. We'd play in their backyards. They wouldn't even have a kid on the field. It's like, oh, kids are playing. You let the kids play. Oh, there's a soccer field. You go play soccer. There's a field over. You go play football. Nobody's telling kids they can't play at a park. Now you have law enforcement showing up at a local park, kicking kids off, and then telling me on the phone there's no fun and games allowed. And I'm just standing here like, what in the hell is going on in this country? So I may play that later on. because I got another story with that. But let's get back to the serious stuff here. New Mexico sues Justice Department for stonewalling Epstein investigation. Filing by Attorney General Raul Torres comes after DOJ appears to have ignored deadline for key Epstein ranch files. Yeah, what are you talking about? The DOJ is in total criminal activity right now. The Trump administration is breaking the law by covering up the Epstein files. And this whole Zorro Ranch thing, man, I'll tell you, it's just weird. And now they want to turn it to like a Christian retreat. What are we doing? And they're tearing the whole place down so there's no evidence. And now the guy who's doing it is about to be elected to office in Texas. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on, man? So, okay, the DOJ continues to break the law and cover up the Epstein files. All right, New Mexico is going to sue. I wouldn't be surprised if other states follow, by the way. Data center designed to use up to 3 million gallons a day in Salem, Oregon. So they were trying to push this data center in Salem, Oregon, very liberal town. And they had a bunch of protests because they didn't want it. Guess what? The people won. Salem City Council votes in favor on moratorium on AI data centers. So what are they going to do? What is Trump going to do? He promised big tech. He promised his people. He's got his own investments. Trump and his family probably stand to make billions of dollars on this deal. So Trump has a personal interest in getting the United States into an AI surveillance state data center. Trump wants to do this. It's his own personal agenda. It doesn't help the country. It destroys the country. It puts us one step closer to Skynet, total AI surveillance state, total communist tyranny, and this is all for Trump and his friends to make billions of dollars and sell you out. So what is the Trump administration going to do as it becomes so overwhelmingly obvious that nobody wants this? What is the Trump administration going to do when local activists are showing up and stopping the data centers from being built? You know he's pissed. Every time he does a public speaking event, whether it's a stand-up press conference or whether it's at a rally or he's doing an interview with Fox News, he always complains that you need to accept the data centers. We don't want them, you pig. We don't want these data centers. We don't want to turn America into an AI surveillance state data center so you and your family can walk away with billions of dollars. Fuck you. Leave us alone. So the question is, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? You know they're not just going to let us have this. It's very clear now that the Trump administration has no interest in the will of the American people. So what are they going to do to force us to do this? What are they going to do to force us to accept these data centers? All right. You know, I mentioned this earlier. I really don't even want to cover it, I have to tell you. I kind of said my piece on it earlier. I don't even, it's too painful. But I got all these videos. It's, you know, Zionists or Jews, whatever you want to say. And there's fights. There's fights breaking out all over the country, all over the world. I've got it in Norway. I've got it in Ireland. I've got it in Spain. I've got it in America. And it's just crazy. I guess I could just not, but the problem is, you know what, since I can't do videos, it's like, I'm not just going to play the audio because it's even worse without the video probably. So I'm just going to move on. Now, you know, Fox News is just pure propaganda at this point. And it's basically mostly war propaganda, foreign propaganda. And Fox News got caught running fake quotes from Iran. They got caught running fake quotes. Now, the funny thing is, the big controversial quote that they just, I guess, made up is that Iran said as long as the United States and Israel possess nuclear weapons, we will continue working on them for our national security. Now, this is a fake quote that Fox News runs in order to continue the support that they've garnered from their audience for this war. Okay, so this is Fox News propagandizing the boomers again. It's what they've been doing to you guys your whole lives. Fox News has been propagandizing you for foreign interests and special interests. They've been pretending to be American patriots, and yet all they do is propagandize you when the time matters. Now, it's funny, though, to me that not only did they make the statement up, how could you disagree with the logic of it? Honestly, how can you as an American that believes in a Second Amendment right as a philosophy of a right to self-defense, it's more than just a document written on paper. It's unalienable. We believe that. That is a philosophy of a human right. Now, we have it legislated into law in America. We're blessed for that. But we should have the philosophy that we believe in the human right of self-defense. So if you believe in that, how could you not agree with Iran's logic, even though Fox News just made it up? See, a bunch of Israeli spies got caught. What's new there? Oh, my gosh. I'll put this on the screen. You know, let me ask this question. Guys. So Abdul Al-Sayed does, like, you know, TikTok videos. And I guess he's done this new TikTok video here. And he's dancing. Very cringe. Okay, it's very cringe. And you know me, I'm over like the left-wing cringe stuff. Like I'm over the liberal like cringe stuff. Like it means nothing to me anymore because the right wing is just as bad, maybe worse right now. But I am curious, because I see this. What is more cringe, this or MAGA? Fair question. I'm not sure. And I think I give it to MAGA only because MAGA is in power. If the Democrats were in power and they were doing this stuff, it would be more cringe. But MAGA is in power and fully cucking, and I think that is more cringe. I think MAGA is more cringe than the Abdul El-Sayed dance video. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? What is more cringe right now? What do you think is more cringe? Man, there's so much stuff. I wish I could get into this. We're going to have to wait. So they're doing this every day now. Speaker Mike Johnson today. It's no longer Republican versus Democrat. It's not even common sense versus crazy. It's America-loving versus America-hating communists. And today's Democrat Party has shown us who they really are. Yeah, sure. Democrats want to destroy America. Republicans love America and will fight to keep the United States the greatest country in the history of the world. Well, the comment section is going about exactly how you expect, guys. Nobody believes this. Now, keep this in mind. So everybody's like, yeah, you guys are total frauds. You guys are all foreign sellouts. You guys all work for a foreign country. You guys all prioritize Israel over America. So who are the bigger traitors right now? Democrats or MAGA? Democrats or Republicans? I say Democrats. Or excuse me, I say Republicans because they're in power. Republicans are bigger traitors than Democrats right now because they are in power. And they are betraying the country for foreign interests. So yes, Republicans are bigger traitors to the country right now than Democrats, and MAGA is more cringe than, you know, progressive liberal dance videos now. And so the comments are going just as well as you would expect. And what's funny is, remember, guys, this is a MAGA dominant platform. X is a MAGA right-wing populism dominant platform. And so if they want to try to make these excuses like, oh, no, these are bots or these are liberals or other stuff. No, these are right-wingers, guys. These are right-wingers doing this. These are not bots. These are not liberals. These are right-wing populists, and they're all responding to Mike Johnson today saying, you're the traitor. You guys are liars. You guys are frauds. This is a MAGA dominant platform. X is a MAGA right-wing populist platform. Everybody knows that. it's so hard to tell, guys. I did some crunching last night. I did some crunching on the Senate. I have it right now at 50-50. I have the Senate right now, Republicans getting 50 seats, Democrats getting 50 seats. And my numbers right now indicate that the actual balance of power in the Senate could probably come down to Alaska. Alaska. Now, I think right now, Republicans will win Alaska. But it's like, how do you predict Alaska? In most of the polls, the Democrat is 4 points ahead of the Republican right now in most of these Senate polls. If I have it 50-50 right now, and that's, you know, you look at the swing states, the Republicans can survive losing most, if not all, of the swing states. They just have to win Texas, and they have to win Alaska. I think they win Maine. I think Susan Collins wins in Maine. I think, you know, she does the subtle stands against Trump. Now Maine doesn't even have a Senate candidate. So I think Susan Collins wins. I think even if the Democrats win Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, you look at these swing states, Georgia, North Carolina, the Republicans just have to win Texas and Alaska to have that 50-50 split, and then J.D. Vance has the tiebreaker. So the Republicans could come out of this 50-50, but if they lose Alaska, that could end up being what loses the Senate. And this is even from a worst-case scenario, so if you think Republicans can win in Ohio or Michigan, maybe you disagree with this. I think it's 50-50 right now, and maybe the entire balance of power ends up in the Alaska vote. Have you guys seen this video, by the way? So there's in Dearborn, it's like, you know, it's totally Muslim now in Dearborn, Michigan. And I guess, you know, the Muslims up there have basically, they've kind of done exactly what the Jews have done, actually, but we'll get to that in a second. But you may have seen these videos going around of like these Muslim militants, and they're talking about how the Muslims in Dearborn are forming militaries and their own private police forces. You know, I find it funny because, you know, I got this thing about logic. That if it's not applied universally, it's not logic, it's propaganda. So I'm just curious. So in other words, you have people who are Muslim. You have people in Michigan that are engaging in their First Amendment right, freedom of religion and expression, and engaging in their Second Amendment right to form a militia, and you guys are bitching about it. You Bill of Rights, Constitution beating conservatives are mad because there's people in Dearborn, Michigan expressing their First Amendment and their Second Amendment better than you, by the way. And maybe that's what really drives these people mad, is that these Muslims have moved here and they have exerted their will and they have expressed their Bill of Rights better than Americans have. Christians aren't building militias. Hell, you form an all-white militia, you're going to get a federal investigation. You try to build a community that's, you know, for white people, you're getting shut down. You try to form a militia right now as a right-wing Christian, the federal government is infiltrating you and stopping you and probably arresting you. So I guess they don't do that with the Muslims? I don't know. And by the way, where is this same complaining when Jews in New York and New Jersey do the exact same thing? They get their own militias. They have their own private police forces. They express their religion. If logic can't be applied universally, it's not logic, it's propaganda. But okay, hey, all right, you got a problem with Muslims. You don't want Muslims here. All right, that's the right-wing response. But it's Muslims, Owen, it's Muslims. 9/11, it's Muslims. Okay, fine. Fine, if that's your deal, you don't want Muslims here and you believe the official narrative of 9/11, if that's your deal, then what are you going to do? Are you going to ban Muslims? Where's the big push? Are you going to ban Muslims? Is that against the First Amendment? Are you going to deport every Muslim? Is that against the First Amendment? Or are you not serious about anything ever? I'd love to see you guys get serious about this one. Go ahead. Declare Islam is illegal and deport every Muslim. Do it then. I'm sick of this bitching and complaining and these logical inconsistencies. It's just obnoxious. It is funny, though. It is funny that I guess Muslims in Michigan feel more entitled to the First and Second Amendment and express the First and Second Amendment and have more confidence in that expression than white American Christians do. That's kind of a problem. Did you hear about these Coke cans, by the way? So apparently you can do customized Coke cans, and you can do all of these things on them. You can put, all prides, all the different prides. They even put PDF pride and satanic pride and all of this stuff. But if you put white pride on there, they ban it. What is up with that? You can literally put any white pride on there, but you can't put, or you can put any pride on there, but white pride is banned. Why is that? Why is white pride banned, but every other pride is not banned? And I have to say this, because I noticed something about all the accounts sharing this. They're all pro-Israel. They're all very pro-Israel. And they'll point out the inconsistencies, and they'll say, oh, you can't have white pride, but you can have everything else. But none of them will point out how all of the AIs do the exact same thing, except to protect Israel. And we've covered this so many times on the show. You can tell AI to say fuck every other country on the planet, but if you say about Israel, it won't do it. You can tell AI to draw all these different pictures, except if it depicts Israel or Jews in a bad way, it won't do it. None of them will call out that inconsistency. That's weird. I wonder why that is. Did you guys hear about this guy? I'd not heard this individual's story before. His name is Joe Alex Fells. And he was, I can't play the video audio here, unfortunately, today. And I'm not gonna hold on to this. But apparently he was buying a bunch of old books, buying a bunch of old Bibles. You can imagine what he was finding. If you find Bibles like predating mostly 1948, but if you find like older Bibles, early 1900s, you know they all have maps, and on every single map, that entire piece of land is called Palestine in Bibles. So they're obviously trying to get rid of these Bibles, obviously. They don't want any of these Bibles in existence. You find one of these Bibles, they're all over the place from, pre-1930s, if you can find them. And every single one of them has the map of the Middle East. There is no Israel, and there is a Palestine. So they're trying to get rid of all these Bibles. Now, this guy was apparently buying these things and broadcasting them and sharing them on his shows. And he apparently has committed suicide now. And all the Bibles that he found, I guess, are gone. His name was Joe Alex Fells. Now, apparently he was scheduled to do a report with Ryan Matta in El Salvador before this happened, and Ryan's not buying the story behind his death, I'll tell you. But I'm sure it's just a coincidence that the guy that was exposing that Israel didn't even exist in the Bibles and Palestine did, I'm sure there's nobody that has any interest on rewriting that history. Certainly not the people that wrote the Schofield Bible. Definitely not that. And don't ask about that. Don't question that. By the way, the situation in Morocco keeps getting weirder. Now there's these videos where the original theory was that they released all these men from jail, and they told them, okay, we're going to release you from jail, and now you're going to go invade Quito. So I don't know. We never really got any confirmation of that. That was kind of just reported out of the gates, and then we didn't hear about it again. And now there's these new videos from the original moment where all these, military-aged men were hitting the beaches of Morocco and then going around to Quito. And there's law enforcement and military men, it looks like police guards, bashing them with rifles, telling them, go swim, shoving them into the water. And now the Red Cross is there, and the Red Cross is helping all the Moroccan men get housing and food so that they can continue their excursion into Spain. The Red Cross. By the way, does Gail McGovern, real name Gail Rosenberg, does she still run the American Red Cross? I can't remember. She's been there for a while. She's been there for a while. I don't know if she's. Maybe somebody should find that out. Does Gail Rosenberg still run the Red Cross? They're helping the Moroccan invasion. CBS spiked a news story on Jeffrey Epstein. Go figure. Larry Ellison, Barry Weiss, CBS. CBS had a 60 Minutes investigation into the banks that moved more than $1 billion for Jeffrey Epstein. It interviewed Senator Ron Wyden. It examined Wall Street and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Then CBS fired the correspondent. The interview will not air, and nobody knows whether the investigation ever will. Way to go, Barry Weiss. Way to go, Larry Ellison. You guys spiked CBS's Epstein story. Are we shocked at all? Are we stunned at all? Does anybody feel shocked by that? The Senate Judiciary Committee hearing confirms the Party for Socialism and Liberation is foreign funded and is funding and organizing mass protests against ICE. And they called up Mia Cathell, who is an American journalist. You've probably seen some of her work. And so they're exposing how all these groups are foreign funded. And guess what? Nobody's arrested. Nobody gets shut down. Another hearing exposing massive crimes and nothing happens. You know that old game. Let's see. Russia, Ukraine, missiles going back and forth. Ukraine has no interceptors left. I can't do some of this stuff. Let's move on from that. I don't want that. Anything else we want to cover here before we maybe try to take calls? Mark Levin. What a pig. I don't want to do Mark Levin. Get out of here, Mark Levin. Let's see. The U.S. Department of War using Bible verses to tell people to sign up for the military. That's pretty disgusting. Ben Shapiro says there's no evidence that Israel or anybody has anything to do with the invasion of Morocco. Yes, of course. No evidence, Ben. Never was. Never was. Let's see here. Anything else we want to get to? We can save the rest. All right. You know what? Let's try calls. I think I can do calls. I think I know a way to buffer between the phone line and StreamYard so that the StreamYard audio issues doesn't fuck it up. I'm pretty confident. I don't think this will be a failed enterprise. I think we'll be able to pull it off. All right, I'm going to take a break. We're going to do a ton of phone calls today. We're going to do almost an hour of phone calls when we come back. I do have some other news I still want to cover. But I've been ranting this week. I've been ranting. The Owen Report, I've been ranting. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Are you ranting? What do you think about the stuff we've covered today? It's time for the People's Report. Is what it is. It's time for the People's Report. And I shouldn't be the only one allowed to rant here. You know, you guys deserve to rant. You guys deserve to vent if you're so inclined. So that's what it is. It's the People's Report. It's not up to me. You say, well, what's the topic? It's you decide. This is the People's Report. The Owen Report is handing the microphone to you. It is now the People's Report for the next hour, taking your calls. You decide the topic. Not Owen, the people. So the People's Report, a subsect of the Owen Report, starts on the other side of this break.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
The Owen Report is energized by Crash Out Energy, created by yours truly. Because I was drinking energy drinks every day before the show. And I was drinking the 200 milligram canned energy drinks. I was chasing down my nootropics for mental focus, clarity, and energy. And, you know, I just said, I can't do this. I can't drink these toxic energy drinks forever. I love the 200 milligrams of caffeine, but all the other bad stuff, I can't do this forever. And I said, you know what? Why don't I make an energy drink that has the 200 milligrams of caffeine and the nootropics that I take without the bad ingredients? In fact, we can add some good ingredients in there and make it good for you. That's what we've done. You can get yours today at Crash Out Energy. And I love all the positive reviews that we're getting as well. How about that? An energy drink that gives you energy, focus, and is actually good for you. A revolutionary idea available at crashout.energy.
It's the fastest 3 hours on the internet. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, guys. Phone lines are open. I don't think we're going to have a problem here. I think I have successfully identified the issue here, and I can isolate the phone line from it. But we need to get producer DMT. Hey, producer DMT, keep your ears peeled here. If we start getting an echo on the phone line, we'll shut this down. But I don't think so. I think I have isolated the audio issue, and it should not be a problem with the phone lines. All right, phone number is 747-255-60, 747-255-60. It's the People's Report, ladies and gentlemen. It is the People's Report. You choose the topics on the phone line today. How do you like that? All right, first caller of the show. Remember, I just ask you your name and where you're from. You are on the air. I ask you your name and where you're from. First caller of the show, what's your name, where you're from?
Am I on there right now?
Yes.
Oh, Carson, FEMA Region 4.
All right, Carson. And he hung up. Good call. Thank you. Next caller, what's your name, where you're from?
This is Martin from Alabama.
All right, Martin, go ahead.
Hey, buddy. Just wanted to try to touch base on topic of the fact that nobody's really paying attention to essentially how chaotic America's becoming and how the housing crash is starting to, develop in Florida and Texas there.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering, what's your take on the chaos that's starting to ensue around America.
Well, let's talk about what you brought up directly. The housing markets in Florida and Texas are very similar right now, and that's mostly because what happened during COVID is people from California and New York moved to either Texas or Florida. And what they did in that process is their equity that they had, it transferred into Florida and Texas. And obviously California housing prices, New York housing prices, way higher than Florida and Texas. So they had all this equity. They all moved to Florida and Texas. They skyrocketed the house market because they had all this equity to come in and buy up all the houses. They did it. And now the markets are trying to correct and they're just crashing. Now, I don't know if you could study that and say the same thing is due for the entire country. But I do think separately there is a housing bubble that has to give. And if they don't lower interest rates, which all the evidence looks like they're not going to, I don't know how people are going to afford houses. And then the only way people are going to be able to afford houses is if people start cutting their price 10, 20, 30, 40%. Otherwise, nobody's going to be able to afford their monthly mortgage. So it feels like this thing is about to collapse. Now, as far as other chaos is concerned, I guess, there's always going to be chaos. I do think it's important because I'm starting to see this response now. And so I just want to get ahead of it. Just because I complain about America's government or our politics and foreign policy does not mean that I don't love America. It does not mean that I can't still love my country and love living here and enjoy my life here. And so there's this weird thing that they're trying to pin us down now, where it's just like, oh, you just complain about stuff all day long. It's like, America's great. Hey, I know America's great. I love America. I live in America. I want to live in America. I don't want to move anywhere. I enjoy my life in America. This isn't about my life. This is about our corrupt politics. So I just kind of want to get ahead of that because I feel that this is coming soon now that MAGA is about to go into the new phase of accepting that they were duped and now trying to deal with that. So I don't want to hear this thing. Just because I complain about my government and policy does not mean I don't love America and enjoy my life here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. I love America. I just fear my government at this point. So, and they are becoming tyrannical in various ways. So but, I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much.
You said it. Thank you. Oh, man, are they becoming tyrannical? Boy, oh, boy. That's it right there. That is it. Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, on again. Last time I was on, you had the funny Jewish top hat or whatever you were wearing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, actually. Rabbi Schroyer was here one day, but I never wore a hat.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah,
I never wore a hat. I never had a hat on. Come on.
Fucking greedy Rabbi Schroyer. I saw him there. He was there one day. He was a guest appearance.
As a guest host,
yeah.
Man. Yeah.
He was a guest host, yeah. What was I gonna say, bro? It's like, listen, this shit's all washed, bro. The Jews and the Israel thing, and Trump's finished, and JD Vance is a puppet. So I don't know what they're gonna try to do next, but it's looking like we need to just step away from worrying about that as much and do our own thing, like you always talk about local, because these people are crooks, man, and it's all for foreign interest, like you're saying. And the more you dig, the more you find out, and the more they call you crazy, and the more you get ostracized.
I want to go back to what you said about JD Vance, and I am curious about this. And I also, because I enjoy debate, discourse, disagreement. So if people disagree with me on this, I'm perfectly open-minded to it. But, I am curious about the JD Vance thing, and I understand the concerns, obviously. I do think JD Vance is essentially the big tech candidate. I do think, though, when I just look at the whole board, if I just like we're looking at a political draft board and I'm looking at JD Vance and I'm like, there's actually, I see positives with JD. Certainly, I don't like the fact that he has the big tech connections, and I do think if he gets in there, that's the big issue, is he's a big tech guy. But again, I'm just measuring. It's like I'm just measuring scouts here at a draft board. I do think J.D. Vance has a much better interpretation and understanding of where younger generations are at. He has a better interpretation of where we're at as far as foreign policy. He has a better interpretation of where we're at as far as the economy is concerned. Now, you could argue and say, well, he's just able to express this. He doesn't mean it. But I just look at J.D. Vance as not the ultimate evil that so many people think he is. I look at J.D. Vance and I see that there's maybe some potential there. It's like if there's a running back that keeps fumbling the ball, but he averages 10 yards a carry, and you're like, well, he fumbles the ball, it's going to be turnovers. And you're like, yeah, but he averages 10 yards a carry. Like, can we get him to, make a big play for us? So I understand the concerns with J.D. Vance. I still believe that nobody from the Trump administration can win in 2028. And I think J.D. Vance is smart enough and maybe wants to spend time with his family. I think the big tech lobby is also smart enough to know, and they can play the long game. We don't need to run J.D. Vance in 2028. And I will say, I think the reason why Trump is propping up J.D. Vance, and I don't know if you saw the story, but now he's telling people that they need to vote for J.D. Vance in 2028. Vance hasn't even announced he's running. I think Trump is doing that to protect himself. Because the biggest threat, obviously, right now to essentially everything is the Israeli lobby. I mean, everybody's figured this out. The biggest threat to everything right now is the Israeli lobby. And so Trump sees it that way for himself, and he says, J.D. Vance is my best safety net because the Israel lobby hates J.D. Vance. The neocons and the Israeli lobby coalition, they don't want J.D. Vance anywhere near the presidency. And so that's like Trump's greatest protection mechanism is J.D. Vance. So I think that's why Trump was promoting him. And to that degree, again, that's like, hey, J.D. Vance gives us chunk plays. Maybe turns the ball over, but he gives us chunk plays. So that's kind of my interpretation of the Vance thing right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I hear you. It's definitely it makes sense the way when you put it that way.
I mean, Rubio's not even. It's not even worth.
I thought our biggest threat was Cuba.
It's not even worth mentioning
Tucker
Rubio.
Carlson and Owen Schroyer.
Well, the Panicans, the Panican Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even worth talking about Rubio, honestly. That's just not a serious candidate. Rubio has zero chance of winning anything ever. So anybody that tells you otherwise, just have a good laugh.
He's Cuban, too. I don't know if you know, he's actually Cuban. He's from Miami.
Was he born? Was he
Marco Rubio?
Oh, but he wasn't born in Cuba.
Yes, he was. He came here in the Peter Pan thing back in the 60s when they
No
shipped
way.
all the
Wait,
kids.
wait. Marco Rubio wasn't born in America?
No, sir.
Well, then he can't even run for president. So what are we talking about?
I don't know.
Are you sure about
He's
that? I'm
Cuban.
looking this up right now.
Fucking positive, dude. He's Cuban.
Well, he can be Cuban, but he could still be
He's
born
Peter
here.
Pan. He was born in Cuba. I'm Cuban and Dominican, but I was born in America. So my mom's Cuban and my dad's Dominican, but I was born here. So
It says
if
he was born
here,
in Miami. It says he was born in Miami.
I don't know, man. He was in the Peter Pan thing, so I don't know. I don't believe that.
Is that a gay? Is that a gay joke?
What do you mean?
Peter Pan, Marco Rubio?
No, there's no. When the Castro regime took over in '59, they had a program where it was some creepy stuff that went on. It was a program that they had a bunch of kids that they had to bring over here. I don't know. It's a weird story. You got to look into it. He was part of those kids, and everybody knows that he was a Peter Pan kid. It's a long story. In Spanish, it sounds different. That's why it sounds weird in English, but it makes sense if you really look into it.
It'd be Pedro Pan in Spanish. Pedro Pan.
Exactly. Pedro Pan.
Well, I've not heard that. Again, it says he was born in Miami. You know, obviously he'd be considered ineligible if he wasn't born here, so that'd be an interesting thing if they tried to force that on us. Thank you for the call. Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Mike from Virginia.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
Hey, so I think it's fascinating that we've gone from shut up and eat the bugs to the country club neocons telling us to shut up and eat the ramen.
Isn't it beautiful? It's a beautiful disaster.
And it is mostly rich, assuming some of these Con Inc. influencers have the money to be saying this stuff. But one of the things I think is lost on them also is we started a war in a part of the world that's a major oil transportation hub, printing money to finance that war. that didn't even need to occur. And I think that point is lost on them. And the main critics of this whole thing, they're criticizing the federal government, but they're labeled as anti-capitalist left. It's totally bizarre. It really is.
Oh, it's total Twilight Zone right now. It's total Twilight Zone.
And just one really quick thing I want to say about the war. I wanted to call him last week, but I wasn't able to. But even just from the posture of the neocons, you would think that the Iranians sunk our carrier, kidnapped a bunch of sailors, and executed them in a live stream, all in non-provoked attack. Problem is that didn't happen, but that's the posture they have with this war, and we're insisting it needs to go on as long as it needs to. And it's, so.
Yeah, well,
here's on that,
foreign policy is always a complex debate, and everybody kind of has their different approach. I come from as far as a policy, I'm non-interventionist. You might even say anti-war. As far as a philosophy, I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to tell me Iran is killing Americans, I'm going to ask you where. And then I'm going to say, well, what if they weren't there? So my philosophy is they shouldn't even be there. And that kind of gets back to my, I'm a non-interventionist. So, but you're always going to have these debates. The problem is, in this moment, is we were promised this wouldn't happen. So there's always going to be a foreign policy debate. It's always going to be passionate. There's always going to be all the different complex angles and different things to debate over. But to me, there is no debate. We were promised that this would not happen. And now because this has happened, other promises are also getting broken, like lowering gas prices, lowering energy prices, not having Americans die in the Middle East. So because they broke the big promise of no new wars, now there's been a series of other promises that have also been broken. So you can have the debate on foreign policy. You can have the debate on whether you support going to a war with Iran or not. You cannot debate that this is a broken promise of Donald Trump's, and you cannot debate that this broken promise has led to other broken promises, all of which are bad for the country. So to me, that is undebatable.
Do you think that he's going to keep this war being protected as long as he can through midterms, or will try to put the genie back in the bottle prior?
You know what's so funny about it is that think about the question that you just asked and realize the fact that you have to ask it that way shows how absurd this war is. You're not what is the goal? We don't even know the purpose of the war. Like they won't even tell us it is a war. Is the purpose to conquer Iran? Was the purpose to kill Khamenei? He's dead. Was the purpose to take control of the Strait? We were told we have control of the Strait. So it's like we can't even answer the question because we don't even know what the hell is going on. We don't even know what the goal of the war is. So all we can assume is that the war will continue until Israel says it's over. That's the only thing that we can assume. And as far as Trump is concerned, the only thing he's looking at is the midterms and wondering if there's anything he can do before the midterms to not have this war cost Republicans the election. So those are really the only two things that you can look at, since we don't even know what the hell we're doing over there.
Last point I want to make before I go. Up until now, the plurality of quote unquote Islamic terror attacks in America has primarily been from Sunni Islamists, bin Laden night head choppers. We basically killed the equivalent of the Shia Pope in Iran. My concern is now we're going to have to be dealing with, and I hope I'm wrong, dealing with Shia Islamist terrorism now as a consequence, as blowback because of our actions there. So, yeah.
Well, I wonder, I can't help but wonder, the screw worms, the cyclospora parasites, who knows? Maybe these are acts of war. I mean, there have been multiple arrests. Thank you for the call. There have been multiple arrests of illegal biolabs in this country. Multiple arrests, including a major arrest where an Israeli national got caught doing it and then they released him. But I guess that's neither here nor there. But again, it's like, what is the goal? What is the goal of the war in Iran? We have to make sure Iran can't have a nuke. Well, we were told we won that over a year ago. So that's not the issue. Plus, Iran doesn't even have a nuke. So, okay, so that's a lie. Oh, we need to take control of the Strait. Trump said we had control of the Strait. So that's a lie. Well, we need to take out the radical leader, Khamenei. Oh, we took him out. So that was a lie. So it's nothing but lies. It's just so sad, man. It's so obvious that they're just lying to us about everything. And watching people go along with it is more pathetic, I'll tell you that. I expect politicians to be dirty, rotten scumbags. Watching the American people, watching the right wing, watching the MAGA, you guys were supposed to be better than this. You guys were supposed to be better than this. We were supposed to be better than this. And you guys just turned into total fops. You guys became worse than the left. I hope you have a redemption run, because this is just, MAGA is just embarrassing. Next caller, what's your name? Where you're from?
Nathan from Cleveland.
All right, Nathan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just calling, wanting to know your opinion on Tucker Carlson third-party run.
Yeah, so I watched that.
That'll make any kind of difference?
Let me respond to that. I watched Tucker's show last night. It's about an hour, just under 2 hours. I thought it was very powerful. And I think, Tucker's philosophy is probably like the opposite of mine, where I'm like, sit down at the desk and full stream of consciousness. Tucker is way more measured. He writes his own monologues, and, he's very, he wants to make sure when he's expressing or communicating to his audience, it's exactly how he wants it. Whereas I'm just like, I just sit down, stream of consciousness. I'm just like a crazy machine gunner up here. So you have to understand how Tucker approaches it. Now, I think when I look at this from the standpoint of, okay, it's just a Tucker Carlson show, right? It's just another Tucker Carlson show. He does a great job kind of tying in the issue of a nuclear war and the AI taking over. And he does a very good job putting us into this reality. It's like, hey, are we on the brink of nuclear war? What are the ramifications of that? Hey, are we on the brink of an AI takeover? What are the ramifications of that? Oh, these are the two biggest threats to humanity on this planet, and Trump has brought us closer to these two realities than anybody else in the history of the world. That's just reality. That's just fact. Now, whether it happens or not, we don't know. But that is what Trump is doing. If there are two things that are the biggest threats to humanity on the planet right now, it's nuclear war and it's AI taking over. And these are the two things Trump is putting us closer to than anybody ever. So he does a good job kind of weaving that, tying it all into politics. And then you can tell that it's like, okay, this is a third-party platform. This is kind of a pitch of a third-party platform. This is kind of a presentation of a third-party platform. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was very powerful. I think it's exactly what the country needs. My only issue was I wish, and maybe it's because Tucker isn't sure right now. He's not sure if he wants to do this or not. I wish he would have packaged it differently. I wish he wouldn't have just done it like a normal Tucker Carlson show. And I wish he would have said, hey, we're thinking about a third party. We believe America needs it. I'm going to be introducing a potential platform for a third party in 2028. And kind of just frame that show last night differently, because I think it would have been consumed and interpreted differently if he would have done that instead of just doing it like a normal show. Now, as far as the issues are concerned, most of that stuff is original MAGA. Most of what Tucker Carlson puts down on paper is original MAGA. And most of that stuff is just populist. It's just national populism. And so I just don't understand. If people have their concerns with Tucker Carlson and they don't want to trust anybody, you know what? Fine. That's your prerogative, and I don't blame you for that. But I don't understand what you can disagree with as far as the presentation is concerned. I don't know what you can disagree with as far as the platform that he lays out for a third party is concerned. And if there's ever a time to do it, it's going to be 2028.
Right. Did you hear his 10-point pitch?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about as kind of the platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And what about the people that he had surrounding him in that photograph? I think it was like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, well, this is the wing of the dissident right. This is the new leadership of the right wing. And this is just the reality, by the way. This is all inevitable. Whether it happens in 2028 or 2032, that's the future of the right wing. Now, if the Republican Party wants to crash and burn and just be total sellouts to the foreign lobby, then that's fine. Then the Republican Party can crash and burn. Trump can destroy the Republican Party. And with the Republican Party, the Israel lobby also will go away. So maybe that's what happens. But what you're seeing right now is these right-wing dissidents, right-wing patriots, right-wing populists, nationalists, centrists, however you want to put this. I don't know. It's the dissident right that is being honest. It's right-wingers that supported Trump that are willing to look at themselves in the mirror and be honest about what they're seeing. And they know Trump has lied to us. They know Trump has become another corrupt politician, maybe the most corrupt ever. You can disagree with that. But as far as the results of this administration, we are not getting them, and he lies to us every day. So there are people on the right wing that have realized this. They've accepted this. They've come to terms with this, and they're saying, what do we do next? We actually want to save the country. We're serious about saving the country. We're serious about having a political movement to save the country. Trump just burned it all to the ground. We have to start something new. And so that's kind of what you're seeing coalesce right now around Tucker Carlson. Now, my guess is eventually they're going to have to try to tap into the left, the populist left, maybe a nationalistic left, an economic left. And I think that's why Joe Kent goes on the Young Turks and kind of presents this to Cenk Uygur as well, because they realize, if there's a path to victory for a third party, we have to tap into the left. We have to tap into some aspect of the left that also feels betrayed, but agrees with a lot of the things that we say. And so I think that they're just kind of feeling this out right now. They're seeing what kind of coalition they can build. They're seeing what kind of leadership they might have. And all indications are, at this point to me, they plan on moving forward with this in 2028. And my guess is the response has been positive.
Of those people, who would you think he would pick as the VP?
I don't think they're that far. I can't say for sure, but I don't even know if I want to answer it. I think that it's all strategic. I don't think they're looking at this. This isn't an ego battle. This isn't, hey, I want to be president. This is, let's sit down in a room and see what the best path forward is. And so if that's Tucker Carlson, or if that's Thomas Massey, or if it's someone else, then we'll go with them. I don't think anybody wants to be president here, to be honest. I don't think any of them want to be president. They realize one of them needs to be president. And so I think that they're kind of going through all of this right now. And maybe they've already determined, or maybe they think Tucker has the most electability right now. I don't know. That could change. Kind of feels like maybe that's the decision that they made for the time being. But I think we're getting a little too ahead of ourselves asking questions like that. I think right now, let's just keep an eye on it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's exactly what we need. It's exactly what we need. And if Trump wants to destroy the Republican Party and hand everything over to the Democrats and let conservatives know that you have no political vehicle here, you're going to have to build your own. Israel owns the Republican Party. Then that's what we'll do. And that's what we're being forced to do now. So that's kind of how I interpret it. Thank you for the call. Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Owen, Don from Orange County.
What's up, Don?
Hey, before I get into it, I just want to let you know I tagged you in something on Facebook in regards to that water comment I made yesterday about the data centers. Yeah, you go and look at that post that I tagged you in, and it'll it's pretty shocking. But I just want to let you know that all the years I've been watching you, and all the shows you've done and all the news footage that you've covered, topics and political figures come and go throughout the years. Fast forward to today, especially after the last 2 years of Trump's presidency, you've hit a glass ceiling. In other words, your coverage is hit the end of it. It's like you're trying to make sense of what you're like trying to make sense of everything now, but you hit the ceiling. You can see all the shit they're doing, but it's the confusion. It's like you can't penetrate it, and they're still doing it. Do you enjoy it though?
Do you enjoy me ramming my head against the glass ceiling every day?
No. Hey, man, I care about you, dude. I don't want you to do that. The thing is there are no words, no voting, no negotiating. There is nothing that's going to fix this. No votes, no protests. Nothing is going to fix this. These people are not people anymore. They're demons, and they're in place. They're hell bent on to doing what they're doing. Their plan for us is to take all our minerals, everything. We're look at everything that was promised to us. The Doge, the USAID, crimes, all that stuff. But see, that was just to shove it in your face that we are being bent over. That was they're all about telling us the truth now and laughing at us like, what the hell are we going to do about it?
It's so funny that you bring that up. And I've got a bunch of different social circles, and I used to talk about this a lot. Like, I'm convinced a lot of these people in politics just have like no friends, or they just live in their own political bubbles, and so they just have no idea what people are thinking. Austin is a very diverse city in that I'm not talking about like skin color. I mean, most people that live here now are not from here. And so because of that, you get to hear a lot of different viewpoints, a lot of different concerns and stuff. And I just become like a recording device for these people that I run into every day that, they want to tell me stuff that they see. And somebody actually said this to me today. And this guy's in finance, and he was like, Owen, this is going to sound crazy. He's speaking in financial terms. Some of them maybe kind of go a little bit over my head. But he said exactly what you said. He said, Owen, it's so clear to anybody that like monitors resources and finances, they're grabbing everything. Like, they are literally grabbing everything right now and trying to centralize control over all of the money and all of the resources. And I mean, we kind of already understand that, but it's like when you hear it presented from somebody that actually knows the ins and outs, it's very convincing.
Oh yeah, and the thing is this: if I'm not trying to create some kind of revolt or anything, but if y'all still paying taxes, or if not paying, if you're all still letting them steal your money, if you're letting them do that to you still, then you're part of the problem for one, and for another, things will never get better so long as everybody still keeps funding.
Well, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Be homeless, not work?
No, well, see, here's the thing. Them telling you that they're going to come for you if you don't pay your taxes, that is such a straw man. They don't have the funds or the manpower to even come after you. They don't.
Well, they come after me every year. I have to fight the IRS every year. I win every year because it's BS.
Well, here's the thing. You have to fight them, but see, you're just one person. If multiple people, it's like.
But now you're getting into the real answer. But see, Don, now this is where, okay, I'm bashing the glass ceiling. You just hit the ground. That's what it is. If this country was united, we could do anything. We could do anything. If the people of the United States of America were actually united, we could take this country back like that. That is one example right there. If every single American just decided, I'm not paying taxes, and it's a lot more complex than it sounds, because most of people pay taxes. They don't even pay the tax. It comes right out of their paycheck. It's very nice. The government mafia, they just take it right out of the paycheck there. But it's like, you could not file, you could not do this, you could not pay property taxes. A lot of people are, what is it? I can't think. I think it's like a W-99 or whatever. If you make money but you don't have a paycheck, you have to sign it every quarter. So yeah, if the American people were united and we said, okay, we're not paying taxes anymore, that would be the solution. That would be it right there. And we could turn everything over tomorrow. But the problem is the country is divided, and it's all by design. It's all by design. And so what do? We just continue down the path, I guess, until we can all come together for it. Next caller, what's your name? Where you're from?
Hello?
Yep, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, I was calling because I wanted to discuss AI in a different way than maybe it's been presented before. I wanted to talk about AI as a Second Amendment issue.
Okay.
So the points about data centers, all of that stuff is accurate, but the solution isn't to hand AI to only government and big tech. So my point of view is that there's a lot of propaganda going on about whether, people should have access to AI and the data centers. In reality, the issue is more about who has access to AI, the government or the government and us. So I don't necessarily want the government to have access to something very powerful that I don't.
How close do you follow this issue?
Pretty closely.
Well, isn't that kind of isn't that Elon Musk's philosophy?
I can't keep up with what his philosophy is. I actually just saw an interview he did on, what was it? I don't know. He just did an interview and he was talking about how his vision has changed slightly from Mars to AI. My concern is that, okay, data centers. The water that the data centers take, all of that, those are for frontier labs. Those are not for local AI. So I feel like if the sentiment is being pushed towards being anti-data center because they use so much water and the noises and all of the infiltration on, residential neighborhoods and whatnot, all valid. But so the answer then is to run it on your own machines. So if we are blind to that mechanism, that propaganda push, we're feeding right into anti-AI sentiment and creating a scenario in which you have to follow tons of regulations in order to be an AI provider. And then what do we end up in that case is that smaller businesses or individuals can't meet those regulations. So I view AI the same way I view firearms, where I'm going to have a bunch of firearms because others have firearms. I don't like when innocent people are harmed, but the answer isn't to take firearms from law-abiding citizens. So in my opinion, AI is very similar, and it can cause a lot of damage. But that's why I don't want the government to be the only one that has it.
Well, I do think there are people that have expressed a similar philosophy, and I'm not trying to pin you down with this, but it sounds like I think Jensen Huang of NVIDIA has expressed a similar sentiment. I know Elon Musk has expressed a similar sentiment, and that's why, and I don't like it, quite frankly, but that's why NVIDIA wants to have your own personal AI power bank connected to your house. That's why Musk wants everything to be open source, and he's constantly railing against OpenAI and Sam Altman. And I know a lot of people don't like Elon Musk, and they give me a hard time when I'm speaking positively of Elon. But you said something that about, it's like, why is Elon Musk talking about AI? And he says, well, maybe I'm not thinking as much about Mars now. I think that's because I really think Elon Musk likes humanity. I'm not telling you he's perfect. I don't want one of his brain chips. Maybe he ends up being a bad guy. I don't know. My approval rating of Musk right now is probably like 51. But the reason why Musk got involved in AI, and he has said this before, is because all the other players that are involved in AI are crooks and scammers and liars. And so Musk knows that the future of AI is the future of humanity, likely, for good or for bad. And he doesn't want these crooks and scammers and liars to be the ones building the AI. So that's why he's pivoted to AI. He didn't even want to do AI. And this is how he's expressed it. Now, if you don't trust him, that's fine. That's your issue. I'm just saying that's what he's expressed. And it sounds like it's a similar thing to what you're expressing. You kind of put it in a different light, like we should all have a right to AI. And I guess if you make it if you make it like electricity or anything or energy, then they'll say, yes, this is a right that you can have. Nobody can cut this off from you. That conversation, I think, will eventually be had, We're still a little in the opening phase of AI, but eventually these conversations will be had. Thank you for the call. Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
What's up, Owen? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, what's up? This is Who is Amazed. I'm out of Los Angeles, California.
Right on. It's nice to have you call in. We see you in the chat a lot.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about a few things today. You've been mentioning the third temple, and this goes way, way back to not gematria, but to a form of symbology through streets and through Google Maps or Apple Maps. From the top down, there's imagery depicted from street roads with the street names that correlate to Bible verses. Now, this goes way, way back. And how I figured about this was this guy named the Grox. And he's no longer around. He's been gone for maybe 7 years now, maybe 10 years now. And he would say that the Antichrist would be Obama, but they would have a golden age. He never mentioned anything about Trump because that time never came. But everything he said prior is making sense and it's coming to fruition, like China possibly working with Russia to invade us. The whole nuclear football aspect. This is where I get the whole ideology of them nuking San Onofre power plant in San Diego, to saying Iran maybe did it. Maybe that could be the big event that you may be talking about. They may use Trump for. But I don't know the exact name of how you describe this symbology language. It has to do with the street names, Apple Maps, and Bible verses. There's a certain name for it, but I forgot what it is. No one.
Well, look, I'd love to rap with you about this, but that is a little out of my expertise.
It is.
And
So
I will
let me
tell
go
you,
to
and
the,
just to kind of give you an idea here, I mean, just so people can understand, guys, I would not even have brought that up the other day if I didn't get it. I shouldn't even say. I mean, folks, let's just say my source on this is like, in the White House every day. Okay, so. That's the only reason why I brought it up. You listen to the show. I don't get too much into this. Every once in a while, I might dabble in it or present something, but this isn't my expertise. I'm kind of raw politics these days mostly. But I mean, if I didn't hear that, if it wasn't somebody that's in the White House that sent that to me and was like, hey, this is seriously being talked about right now, then I wouldn't even have said it.
And one more thing too is the active duty. So I can't give away my position too much. But let's just say certain Air Force bases aren't being managed the way you would expect them to. Let's just say certain pay raises are given to certain departments of people that are not liked on the base, that don't do any work, while the main core and the main functionality of the base gets their staff reduced. So I want to it's like they're deconstructing our military in some aspects while they're depleting all of our weaponry. And the active, they all know. They have the worst attitude about it. There's nothing they can do about it.
Have you guys ever seen the movie I, Robot? You wonder why it's the most relatable movie to me? You want to take a guess? I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Whole house just shuts down. I don't know. There's no weather here. There's no power outages here. Nobody's working on any wires. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. I have no idea. Great caller. Great subject. Very heavy, very serious. And all of a sudden, the power just goes out. I don't know, guys. No idea, man. It's fun. It's fun. Okay. I mean, what am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to think? We just have rolling blackouts in Texas? I don't know. Do we just have rolling blackouts now? Is that what it is? And I'm just on air 3 hours a day or more, so they just, eventually it hits you? Or what? Or what? And, people might, people might think that I do that for some sort of effect, but I'm pretty sure I was sitting with my arms crossed, leaning back in my chair when it happened. So, I mean, you can't even try to say that I did anything. If you wanted to be a conspiracy theorist about me, I'm pretty sure I was sitting like this when it happened. So DMT couldn't even do that if he wanted, guys. The producer DMT couldn't even do that if he wanted. I run all the technical aspects. I mean, he can do stuff for me and help, but everything is run right here. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't want to be too conspiratorial, but it's like, again, it's the iRobot. It's like, well, all of your damn robots keep malfunctioning around me. I don't know, guys. Maybe we just have rolling blackouts in Texas. I don't know. It's a third world country. We're building a bunch of data centers here. It's not even that hot, actually. It's only like 99 degrees today. Like, really? Little old me? The Owen Report? Like, really? I don't know. I don't know, guys. That was wild. Sorry to who is amazed that you got cut off. That was a hell of a call, wasn't it? That was a hell of a call. I'll tell you what. Let's take one more, and we'll go to our super chats. This will be our final caller of the show, I think. Who knows at this point? All right, caller, what's your name? Go ahead.
Owen Riznos, Milwaukee. Your first caller.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Sorry, I'm just like floating through a twilight zone here, man. Just go ahead.
You have no idea, dude. I'm actually going to start out with a request from you and the OR audience. I may sound a little short of breath. I'm sorry about that. I was involved in a little motorcycle accident. Some lady pulled out in front of me, going through some pain, couple surgeries, 15 ribs, a clavicle, couple vertebrae. Just looking for a love and some prayers from the OR audience.
When did this accident happen?
It was the morning of July 22nd on my way out to work.
Well, God bless you. You motorcycle guys are crazy. My dad is big into riding motorcycles. He was in an accident recently. Luckily for him, it wasn't serious. Still rides him around. I look at him. I'm like, you're crazy, man. You guys are crazy.
It is crazy. It's nuts. You're absolutely right. And I've been doing it since I was 5. People, the nurses and all these people, you're all done probably, right? And I'm like, nah, not really.
No,
but
you guys won't give it up. You won't give it up. You won't do it. I get it. You love something, you don't give it up. I get it.
There's nothing like the feeling, But I was tuning in when you just got cut off. I got to tell you, you looked freaking hilarious. You were leaning back with your arms crossed, flexing. And I'm sitting there like, hey, this guy's striking a chord on
I'm
Jesus.
not flexing.
Look out.
No, I'm not flexing. You haven't even seen me flex.
You were ripped. No, you're ripped. I'm just saying, it just when it cut out for a second, I was like, oh no, that definitely cut out.
So
And
I
he's
was.
gonna
That's what I'm
laugh.
saying. I'm pretty sure I wasn't even touching anything. If people wanted to say that I was doing it for effect, I was literally like, I wasn't even touching the computer.
It looked like the back of your head was against the wall. You were all the way back when it cut out.
My garage door.
Oh, nice, dude. That's a pretty hot looking garage door you got there.
Yeah, I know. They did this weird thing when they designed the house. They put the floor of the garage 2 feet beneath the door, so you can't pull a car in.
Oh, that's gonna drive you nuts. I hope you don't drive
That's
a
very
pickup.
weird. I drive a motorcycle now.
Oh, well, hey, I can give you some
kidding.
tips on that.
So how's your recovery, bro? You know what? Thoughts and prayers to you. My goodness, brother. Ribs and everything. That's got to be painful.
I mean, it was scary at first, but I got 2 surgeries. I got my ribs plated with titanium and pinned. And let me tell you something, man. I feel like I could like run my midsection through your garage door right now. And it's
You're
only been
like
2 weeks.
you're like Kick-Ass.
I don't know what I am anymore. I can't wait for this all to heal. I think I'm gonna just be doing like crazy triple gymnastic flips and crap.
Have you seen the movie Kick-Ass with Nicolas Cage?
I have.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know that guy's name, but you're like Kick-Ass, dude. You're like a superhuman now.
I feel like it. I'm starting to get there.
Now you have to start going out on the streets and busting crime.
Well, you know what? We're going to need people like me to do that. I'm getting a little old, but I think I can handle it.
Yeah.
We need to bust somebody, dude. Send me to D.C. Send me somewhere.
There you go.
I mean, look at what's been going on. I'll bring up a little fun thing. I don't know if you've been paying attention to Madison. I remember I heard you say one day you were coming maybe to Madison to check some stuff out. And then
You know what? We brought on Dr. Borisenko, and she teamed up with Sordor. Sordor is a madman, dude. He almost got himself hurt. I'm glad that.
Holy crap! He's running around with like a chicken with his head cut off.
Apparently, they shut that down, though. I think I was told they started making arrests and shut it down. It might have come back, but that was the last I saw.
It is nuts. I lived there. I went to college there. It was a whole different place, 19 years ago. Same kind of deal, but. I'm an engineer, so I didn't really have time for any of that kind of crazy crap going on.
Mm-hmm.
But wow, just funny to see somehow I knew the next chop zone was going to be in Madison. I don't know why. I could have told you that 2 years ago, but it's just the city's changed quite a bit. It's pretty dangerous now compared to what it used to be like.
Wow. I've been there a couple times. I didn't really notice too much of that, but I didn't spend too much time downtown. I mostly just was around campus. Went to a ball game. What is it, the Kohl Center,
Yeah.
I think? Is it the Kohl Center they play
Yep.
in? Yeah.
Yep, beautiful Kohl Center.
It
Fish
is
just
nice.
played there. I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah.
But yeah, great show today. Always tearing it up.
Thank
I
you.
just can't believe how much I'm with you. Of course, I watched Alex a little bit earlier because I can't do anything. I'm sitting here on my butt. Alex had some great guests, and it was a little more of the hard hitting. Steve Quayle comes on, and all of a sudden it's all about symbols and stargates and stuff.
Oh.
But all that stuff's real. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, that's, I guess we were kind of getting into that. And we had a mysterious power outage. Very odd. There you go. Hey, brother, get well soon. And we'll try to keep you entertained at least from 3 to 6 p.m. Central. We'll be thinking about that now. Put a little extra effort in for you. The Bionic Man. All right, brother. Okay, guys, let's, I wanted to at least get one more in since we were so rudely interrupted. I just don't even know, guys. I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm losing my mind sometimes. How can you not be a conspiracy theorist? You best start believing in conspiracy theories. You're in one. You know what I mean? All right. Hell of an audience today, guys. Really appreciate that. The YouTube is starting to grow again. Really appreciate that, guys. Remember to give us a follow on YouTube, The Owen Report on YouTube. Help us grow there. Really helping the show. Appreciate that. And really what we're finding is the issue is getting people to tune in, find the show, and then mostly when they do, they like it, and they come back, and they stick around. So really appreciate everybody helping the channel grow. All right. That's crazy. And you know what is even funnier? I can't believe I'm just thinking of this now. So I have to assume that there were no audio issues with the phone calls. So because nobody said anything. And notice now one of my internets is now out. Hey guys, you got the wrong internet. This just runs the Roku feed. This doesn't run the show. You guys cut the wrong internet. I know I got 3 internets. You play whack-a-mole with me in here. I got 3 different internets you got to shut down to take me off air. You got the wrong one, okay? This is not the right one. This doesn't run the show. Oh my gosh. The thing that I normally have to switch in the audio settings to get the echo off, I didn't have to switch, and now there was no echo with the phone calls, and then there's an echo with everything else. So they switched something up in StreamYard. I don't know what. I wish I could tell you what it is, because I think I know what it is, but you can't pin it down. The only way I can do is through a process of elimination, and I've definitely found the source of the problem. It is within StreamYard. It's when you pull up a window. But the fact that there was no echo on the phones is even weirder now. But this is just me ranting. All right, let's go to the Super Chats. Let's go to the Super Chats. All right, guys. John Franson, I have an idea. We combine the 2 runners-up and finish the name with a reference to the lobby. Boomer Flockenstein, the groundhog. No, it's too much. It's too much. I just like one word, simple, like max 2 or 3 syllables, and Boomer is winning. Slop came in. Slop or Sloppy? Sloppy was getting a little momentum, but Boomer is still winning. Boomer the groundhog. We won the war. We are not in a war. The Strait is open. The Strait is closed. Maybe gas is going down. Gas prices are cheaper. Well, they may need to go up. It's just Groundhog Day. Try polishing the knob. Why are you doing this? What was that even about? Because the knob. Yeah, okay. All right, I get the knob. Frankie Rios, it's cool, bro. Either way you choose will find you. Rock out. Thank you. If you guys are wondering, we had an audio issue yesterday. We had to test it today, and I'd say I'm 99.9% positive I have identified the audio issue. It is 100% within StreamYard's operating system, and there's literally nothing I can do unless I'm just not going to show you videos. So we'll be working through it. Don't worry. Shout out to Rex Jones. He made Crash Out 5-layer burrito was 89 cents. Now it's $5. Trump is the Christ. You know, they say that about every president, so it's like, yeah, you know, it kind of gets old, but he definitely is, he definitely lied to us. That's true. I miss Jill Biden calling Latinos breakfast tacos. Oh, God, we're not reminiscing on the Biden years already, are we? Good God. Yo, Big O, your thoughts on the Tucker Rebel dinner announcements and why you weren't there? Keep going, Max. Well, I think I already offered my comments on that. As far as why I'm not there, we don't need to talk about that. I don't need to be everywhere, you know, not now. Just right here is where I need to be right now. Everything is on God's time, God's plan. And quite frankly, guys, whatever comes next after this, after the Trump betrayal, is going to be so much better because we're going to be so aligned. It's like we won't even have to communicate. We won't even have to sit here and communicate about, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. Here's the strategy with this, here's the strategy with that. Like, we're all going to be so in tune with it. It's going to be like natural. And that's kind of me answering the question. Cutesy time is over. Where's Bongino these days, by the way? Musically assured destruction. Is anyone else noticing an attempt by the Con Inc. influencer class on X to redefine neocon? If you criticize Trump, you are the neocon. Now, I have not seen that. I've seen other names thrown around, but I've not seen that. Everybody knows who the neocons are. That's who runs it now. The neocons took over. So we have to defeat the neocons again. It's all right. We've done it. We tried it out. Good run. Now they have to leave. Paging Baron Coleman. Can you believe it, StreamYard? What are you guys doing, man? Households all need to sacrifice a bit for victory. Yeah, well, how much? You know what though? It's gonna come to the point where nobody has anything to sacrifice, and that's when it's gonna happen. When there's nothing left to lose. Listen to his voice. He knows the magic is gone. You're talking about Trump. Yeah. Yeah. It's getting worse every day. And I'm telling you guys, the MAGA, what remains of it is starting to come to terms with the reality here. And that's why they're all pivoting to, hey, stop complaining, because they can't lie for Trump anymore. It's just so bad. Tariffs are working for Cantor Fitzgerald, Jack. You know, apparently, Lutnick and Son made a ton of money off that. There's some debate about that. Wouldn't surprise anybody if it was true. Josh Hawley, Anthony Fauci, Donald Trump, and Obama are all actors playing their roles. You, Owen, my friend, are the best this nation can get. You rock. Why, thank you, Expose 305. Was Trump always playing a role? You know, by the way, I had this new thought. Maybe they got to Trump after 2020 or 2024. I feel like whatever happened that has turned him into such a compromised traitor happened sometime between 2020 and 2024. I really believe that. I don't think it was always part of the plan. I think the original Trump, the 2016 Trump, the first administration Trump, I think that's the Trump that we know and love. And I think something happened at 2020 to 2024 that changed everything. And maybe he just decided that, hey, you can't win this way, so I might as well run and win and just enrich my friends and family. Why not? It's all corrupt. Maybe that's what happened. But I feel like whatever happened in that time period. I do. I really do now. I don't think it was always part of the plan. We Canadians are nasty, fat Tonys. You're nasty at hockey. What in the heck? Meat Stretcher 9000. It's time to start stretch maxing. Oh my gosh. Is that cooter maxing girl that you have in my picture now? Okay. All right. We've always been at war with Iran. Gas has always been $4. Epstein was always a Democrat hoax. Glyphosate always had immunity, and war is peace. Are you trying to be the press secretary for Trump? Are you trying to get a job inside the Trump administration? It's a good attempt right here. Trump's patience is wearing thin with people holding him accountable with his campaign promises, just like Biden's patience wore thin with the unvaccinated. Yeah. Well, I think maybe it's the vaccine that got him. You know, maybe the vaccine is how they got Trump. Say, hey, you know, any day we can release the truth about this. And, you know, you're the father of it, as you said. How would you like that one to go? Who is amazed? Who was on the phone when it all went down? $16 on Chipotle Slop Bowl. Another 10 on Super Chat. All profits I made from Trump's exclusive 100K club. You made it back by Tuesday. So now you can afford a burrito. I keep hearing that Americans can't afford a burrito. Well, maybe you should join the 100K club. It's the only way to afford a burrito now. But Trump, I can't afford it. Take out a loan then, bitch. Be patient, panicking. We're in the thick of the war of aggression that we spent 2 campaign cycles promising that it would never happen. Okay, Dustvault is on one today. Wooded Bagley. Have you seen the new Daily Wire movie trailer Ben Shapiro posted earlier? Jonathan Majors is the lead, and he looks ready to choke the hell out of some Islamic terrorists. Are you serious? I have not seen that. I have not seen that. I wonder, though, where does the Daily Wire get all of its money? Nobody watches it anymore. I know at one point they probably had a pretty good subscriber base, and I think they probably had some donors. But how do they fund this stuff? I guess they want to go public now, too. Palmetto Hawk, more deception and betrayal. Maha and MAGA are gone. Erica Schwartz is the new CDC director just hours after Fauci's contempt hearing. And then, boom, the CDC says, yep, more vaccines. Just like that. Fauci's arrest implicates Trump will never happen. Yep. Exactly what we said. JV Free, it's been a while, Owen. Are you transitioning? Hee, hardy har. Come on, that's an old one. You can do better than that. You're better than that. You're better than that. Always transitioning, huh? We're just constantly transitioning. Who knows what's going to happen? Import the turd world, become the third world. Okay. It's actually getting crazy. Brian Shin, thank you. It's, you know, I've never been a big guy about the whole, I mean, I'll talk demographics, but I don't bang the drum of demographics all the time here. I have to, you know what, guy? I will tell you, it's actually getting to be a little wild. Like, Texas is turning into India. It's crazy. It's starting to get, like, actually crazy, the Indian Muslim invasion of Texas. And again, it's like, it's like, whatever. You can think what you want about it. I'm just saying, as somebody that lives in Austin, Texas, it's actually started to get really noticeable now. Like, the whole Indian and Islam invasion in Texas is actually, like, becoming really noticeable. Not like, you know, maybe you go out, you see some women in the full burqa or a hijab. Not like you go out, maybe you see an Indian family out. I mean, now it's like 100% guarantee you leave your house, you go anywhere, you're seeing Indians, you're seeing Muslims. Everywhere. So, I mean, it's just like, it's really noticeable. It's never been so noticeable as it is now. War is peace. Kids playing is terrorism. Yeah. Wait, WTF. I'm in shock right now about Joe Fells. I can't believe this. I'm devastated. He was unveiling so much in these old books he was finding. How is this not bigger news? Heartbroken. Yeah. See, that's why I'm so inclined to cover news. You don't hear this stuff anywhere. That's why I become obsessive with it. Glad we got that on today. Also, you can't put Christ is King on the Coke cans. Oh, but you prefer Crash Out Energy anyway. Smart guy. Smart. Very smart. Crashout.energy. Congress once voted overwhelmingly to find Eric Holder in contempt, and he was never arrested or jailed. Fauci's Trump card ensures the same. Seems to be the overwhelming majority opinion here. In terms of AI protecting Israel, Grok is weird. Well, you know what happened with Grok. Because in terms of its chat, it protects Israel. However, you can use the Imagine generation directly to make disparaging images with little problem. Well, not anymore. That'll be over soon. Who replaced Nikita Beer? By the way, somebody said that Nikita Beer quit like the day after he could sell his stock. Do we know who they replaced him with yet? Somebody sent me an image. I don't know if it was confirmed or not. I wonder if it'll be an American. How can Israel be in a 1930s not formed until 48? Well, that's the point. Is they say that there was never a Palestine, and there was. Groundhog name ideas. Miga, Rerun, or Samo. Miga's not bad, but Boomer's still the leader. Blue skies, Boomer's still in the lead. I want to call in and talk to you about something people don't talk about and how the active duty sentiment is, but I can't get through. I'll try tomorrow. Well, you did get through, and it's funny. We didn't even get into the active duty thing and the morale. That you were bringing up the morale angle. That is a very important angle that I talk about every once in a while. I think morale is not good, guys. I don't think our military is too excited about what Trump is forcing them to do. And you know what? Let me just say this too. How much is having our military out there just bait? I'm sorry, guys. We just have to be honest. These are monsters in Washington, D.C. These are monsters that run our foreign policy. Monsters. These are monsters, guys. I mean, absolute demons. Abso-freaking-lutely, they would put Americans out there as bait, hoping Iran strikes them so that they can start a larger war. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why do you think Iran isn't striking Israel anymore? They're just striking us now. Hey, we can't be sacrificing Israelis. That's the Americans' job. That's how monstrous this thing is, guys. I think they're using the troops as bait. I do. I think Trump put our troops out there as bait, hoping Iran would strike so that they could justify a war. That's how monstrous I believe our foreign policy is. Absolutely. Oh, and you and Rex teased an Unc and Neff side project a couple weekends back. Definitely looking forward to that. Your analysis reigns supreme. Rex is great, too. I think I prefer him to his dad now. Oh, Cornelius, whoa. Yeah, Unc and Neff. And we did talk about that. We kind of need to formulate that. The problem is there's too little time in the day, you know? Need more hours. Shut it down. Don't give them any ideas. They already did. Back to you, Shapiro Stein. Does Jake GTV still make videos, or did they just totally ban him from everything? I haven't seen that in a while. Shut the smart meter down. I don't have a smart meter here, but does it even matter? Putting AI in the 2A category is interesting. The Second Amendment is about bearing arms, but why shouldn't the software to combat tyrannical cyber warfare not be included? The old bicep switch. Oh, yeah, guys, like one of these? Like one of these? Huh? Huh? Shut it down? Huh? The old bicep switch. That shutdown brought to you by Mossad, or I mean Iran. They thought you were a water supply plant. Yeah, they keep saying it was Iran, even though Trump said it wasn't. But so that's how you know it's propaganda. Not even Trump will engage in that. Or maybe he just doesn't want to admit Iran can penetrate the country while he's president. Maybe that's what it is. Did you see the claims against Senator Hawley? Another light in the loafers GOP. Yeah. We'll see what comes of it. I know Patrick Howley is, he's all over that one. I don't want to believe it, I'll tell you. I don't want to. Oh, and so happy my boomer dad and I bond over your show. He hated Trump, and now we see eye to eye. It's actually a good thing. Well, you know what? Another love story. We could say that. You love your dad. It's all good. We got 2 love stories today, brought to you by the Owen Report. We're spreading love. Don't let them convince you otherwise. We are spreading love. The greatest thing in the world. F the government. Yeah, whoa. What am I doing? Fuck the government. Duh. My bad. Drew, not enough people tell you how awesome the hair is. Ha! The golden age. I'm dyeing my hair blonde next week. You've inspired me. Never doubt me, folks. Never doubt me, folks. Nicole coming in big today with the final super chat. Thanks, Owen, for all the effort and research you do to deliver us the best daily political play-by-play out there. Love the show. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate the big super chat today. Nice to have you here. And I will not give up. How bizarre was that Perez Hilton video? Yikes. Didn't watch it. No interest in watching it. Honestly, couldn't care less. And I guess since you brought it up, the whole thing is being misinterpreted in my view. What I see is a man who is addicted to fame. What I see is a man who will do anything for fame. And that's what it was. Fame is a hell of a drug, guys. And some people will do anything for a hit of it. Some people will do anything for a hit of it. That's kind of how I interpreted that, quite frankly. And apparently now he's shooting videos from the hospital bed too, so I don't know. Hey, hope he's all right. But I didn't watch it. I have no interest, really. It's just kind of part of the sick nature of online content these days. People will just do anything, you know? They'll do anything, guys, like put a groundhog on their news desk, you know? Crazy stuff. All right. Another lively show. Another crazy Owen report. All kinds of different twists and turns. Obstacles. Challenges. And at the end, total victory. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Folks, oh, hey, I forgot to mention. We've got some new merch at the store. Let me get this up. Is the new merch up? Oh, DMT, is the new merch up? Am I about to blow this? If this isn't up, Oh my gosh. All right, you know what? Is it really not up? I got to reload this. Yes, it is up. It is up. Guys, new merch. I loved the new Disobey Propaganda shirt so much that I've launched a second one. New color scheme, Disobey Propaganda. We've got a new color scheme for you. We've got this one too. And the Owen Report Vice Summer Polo is now live with the new color scheme. It's hard to make out on this image, but that is the new color scheme that we have for our logo on the top right of your screen. It's not the red, white, and blue one that we sell. It's the new one with the new colors. That is also available at owenschroyer.store. New merch today. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. God bless. Godspeed. We'll see you tomorrow.